We're live. We're back. Hi, everybody.
It's almost a brum.
It's not
Scavenger
the sh-
brum.
it's not the Shrike.
But
Come
the
on.
first time period is a so, hello, Shrike, can you hear me? Vadik. Oh, okay, because she's alive right now, just in her changeling form. Spoilers, she's a changeling.
What? I haven't seen it yet. God damn it.
I have seen it yet. God damn. What a stupid thing to say, Mister. Did 7 episodes a week for 10 weeks. Trekyards nonsense. What nonsense? He deserves a super chat. Tell him off. $5. What a silly boy. There you go.
Perfect. All right, guys, welcome back. Yeah, we're doing a review of season 3, episode 6 of Strange New Worlds, entitled "The Sehlat Who Ate Its Tail."
Actually said in the
Uh,
episode for once, which they don't often do per se. In episode.
yep.
And I never, ever researched the name of the episode because I just. So when you told me, I was like, oh, nice. So I had no idea.
I saw the title for this next one, and I thought this is the one where they all turn into Vulcans because that would make sense. Because
Yeah.
Sehlat is a Vulcan
Oh, I
animal,
forgot
so
that's
it's like,
coming. Oh, wow.
yeah, that's
Last
what I
minute.
was expecting this one to be, and it wasn't. Surprise.
I could buy a proto Shrike and force them to be Vulcans.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. But yeah, welcome everybody. How's everyone doing today? Let's do a poll and see what you guys think, because I want to know. I've heard some odd, conflicting review scores. So as in like
Huh,
in the conversation,
really?
So I'm intrigued. I'm gonna do the poll. I'm gonna do the poll and then start sharing. Okay.
Okay. Wow, that's exciting. Since she's done the poll, I'll read the poll, and then when he's sharing, I'll tell you your instructions, and I'll brainwash you against Sam like I do every time when he has his earbuds out. That's why you all hate him more than me.
That's why ChatGPT doesn't know what I look like because he poisoned it against me every day.
Yes, yes. ChatGPT's awful at getting you correct. Maybe because you're so handsome, it just doesn't know what to do with itself. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, it's waiting for him to do the poll. Hit the like button, guys. 22 of you, 24 of you here. 12 likes. Hit the like button. Slice up. Bum, bum, bum,
All right,
bum.
give it a read.
All right, go share. Get out of my face.
Okay, bye bye.
What do you think of this episode, Doomsday Machine Part 0.5? Loved it, liked it, okay, or meh, or did not enjoy, did not like, no, non-likey. Go vote in the poll and hit the like button. As I said, guys, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Click the notification bell icon to all so you don't miss any content from us, whether it be edited content or live content like this. We want you guys to be a part of the conversation and join us and have a great community chat about Star Trek because that's what we love. So make sure you do all the things you need to do. You can also join the channel here on YouTube. There's a join button down there, or you can head over to Patreon/Trekyards, where you can support us on a monthly basis. Any and all support you guys can offer will help immensely, and we appreciate it all. Speaking of support, if you want to super chat in during these lives, we do read them all, so your voice gets out there, you get your opinion heard, your question asked, whatever. We do address them all, so please consider doing that as well. We like to hear from our audience, and we like you to be part of the conversation, as I said. So please do what you can do in that regard, or just click the links. There are links in the description of every video to Teespring and TeePublic. There's some great Trekyards merch there, as well as a lot of other merch, so check those out. Throw some stuff in your cart. That all helps us immensely as well, and we want to hear from you guys in any way we can. So comment in the live chat, super chat in, comment on videos, super thanks, super chats, all the things, do the things. That's in order. But hit the like button. We have 30 of you here now and 14 likes, guys. Come on, hit the like button. We'll get to the super chats in just a second here, and then we will get into the breakdown of this episode and the discussion. And yeah, so uh, somebody asked earlier if there were 52 stars on the flag, a la the Royale. No, there are in fact only 50. I did a count, and yeah, so apparently that's an error. They didn't do their research, maybe. I don't know, but just wanted to point that out. But anyway, We'll wait for Sam to finish sharing, and then we'll get right into it because there he is now finished sharing. So I'll read the super chats that we have right now.
Yes.
Sussy Guru 2000 throws in 10 euros. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I like this episode quite a bit. Definitely one of the better ones this season, but I don't think the cosmic horror thing they tried with the Dreadnought worked. Not old enough to easily defeated. Yes. Yes.
There are thoughts, there are opinions, there are things to say. Clearly.
Perfect. Ray Ricks, who's been a member for 41 months at the rank of Federation Council, one of our best supporters and an amazing guy.
It's so amazingly helpful. You know, Ray. You know you're the man.
Yeah.
You're the man.
Yeah. I liked this one. I like this. One of the better episodes this season. The scavenger ship definitely gave me vibes of the Reavers from Firefly. Seeing an uncertain Kirk early in his career was interesting. There are just too many jokes at completely the wrong time in this series. I disagree with the joke thing. I think the mix of humor where it's appropriate is good. But yeah, they don't overdo it.
I mean, this one they didn't. Right? There are definitely too many sometimes. But this one I think actually worked as intended. But I think, I mean, there's such a broad statement, right? I think it's only sometimes, but there's a lot of jokes, a lot of places. Cool.
And Solaris, the long hauler rail fan, throws in $5.
Thanks so much.
Interesting. A human doomsday device. Who would have known?
Not us. And I mean, it would have been. I mean, it's bigger than Doomsday Machine. At least, like.
In one dimensionality.
Yeah.
Lengthwise, I think the Doomsday Machine
width
might be a little bit.
Width wider.
Yeah.
So in 2 dimensions, it's probably taller, but not. That would be a hell of a fight, right? Who would win? Because they're very comparable, except one has armor that can't be attacked, one has armor you can't scan. You know?
Well, if this thing ate the Doomsday Machine from the back, it would gag. Yeah, if it ate it from the front, the Doomsday Machine would just blast it.
Yeah.
And destroy all the ships inside, hence blowing up the ship so it would win. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how the polls are doing already? I want to know what people think straight away.
There are 23 votes already. And Loved It is winning. I told your audio is a little low. It's a tad low. It's not too bad. It's not too far off of me, but you might want to just up it a tad.
I guess it's fun. Every time you close Audacity, it like changes it just a smidge, and it overrides the. Yeah, there you go. It's gone down to like 45% versus the normal 70%. So bam, there you go. That's how I normally am, roughly. Isn't that weird? Didn't do anything. Okay, so Stuart, the big question is, what do you think of this episode? And as I always say, my most interesting thing to ask you is, how do you feel on second watch and or with Sylvia, etc.? Like, how do you feel on more watches?
I mean, I appreciate a lot more of the nuances, especially in Paul Wesley's choices that he did for Kirk. I think were more noticeable. Also, the knowing that they're humans going in is interesting because it just opens up so many more questions, which we'll get into. But it's definitely holds up on rewatches. This is very much a classic episode of Star Trek. I think the fact that we had some Kirkisms and Kirk in there really helped that as well. It felt very TOS in its storytelling, and then also the reveal. That's a very, ooh, the monster was us the whole time. Dun dun dun. Even though they weren't really monsters, and I feel bad because the one that saw Pike didn't shoot because he recognized him as human. At least that's what's implied. It's not perfectly clarified, but I mean, with Pike's question of why didn't he kill me, and just to pause, like there's some interesting things there, and it makes me wonder if they knew about Earth, that Earth actually did survive the environmental crisis that their ancestors feared was going to happen, and that's the reason they left. But you'd think they'd know about Starfleet because they've assimilated. They've collected multiple ships, possibly got the data and information from those logs they would know about. So considering their ancestors left for a specific reason to get off of an Earth that's going to destroy itself, to have Earth turn things around and become this utopia, you would think if they discovered that they might want to go back, but you're dealing with the descendants of the people that originally left who like their life, grew up in this life, and might not feel like they'd be welcome or whatever. So it opens up a whole can of worms. But as far as the episode goes, I really love the interactions between everybody. I love Scotty's, not yet a miracle worker, but kind of butting heads with Kirk and his command style. I think it was really well done. Una was great in this episode. Um, not that she had much to do really, but um, yeah, and breaking up the regular pairings, like to see La'an with Pike was great. Stuff like that was really good, and it definitely holds up under rewatches, at least in my opinion. So that's my thoughts on it. And yeah, this is one of the better episodes of Strange New Worlds. And I'm hesitant to say that because
That was me
a lot of
earlier, if you recall.
yeah, a lot of people are going to say, well, it's just because you guys like TOS and this is Kirk and Spock. And no, that's not the reason. I think it helped, but the storytelling itself was just so good and so classic Trek that there was a bit of a mystery. There's, stakes were sort of high. We got elements from TOS, like instead of Sherman's planet, Sullivan's planet. Little nods like that really, I think, helped this whole entire episode. So there we go. That's my thoughts.
But do you want to do some super chats as well? Because we want
Yes.
to. You can interrupt
Yes.
us, guys. That's part of the fun. Don't worry.
Yes.
We encourage
Yes.
it.
We encourage you to interrupt us. Chuck A. TNG fanatic. Good to see you, Chuck. Throws in $5. Hi guys, great content as always. This was the best episode this season. Yeah, I've heard that quite a bit, even in my first reaction last night. A lot of people are saying that. So it'll be interesting to see
And
where
we've
it
said
scores at
that
the
a
end.
couple of times in the sense of in the sense they might be improving or we're getting more used to them or
Well,
whatever. They're not the first time we said that.
I think it's kind of like the Lower Decks thing where they came like out of the gate running and they did a fantastic job, and it was hard to keep up that level. So like, this is a really fantastic episode of Lower Decks. Next week, this is the best episode of Lower Decks. And then after a couple seasons, it started to be like,
That's an okay for
is
the
it?
low decks. That was
But
very
okay, it's still
possible.
really good.
Yeah.
Okay, it's still really good in the Star Trek format, just in Lower Decks because they have such a high bar. It's just, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Solaris, the long hauler rail fan, $5.
Thank you.
And as Doomsday devices go, the interesting engineering was deployed.
Hmm?
Mark Lawrence, member for 66 months at the rank of Federation Council. See, he's outdoing you, Ray. You're gonna have to invent a time machine
Oh my
and
god.
jump ahead of him or something. Anyway, but thank you,
That
Mark.
is how that works.
I wouldn't have felt that bad about those people dying. They all had the time to stop and listen. Their sensors, if good enough for finding the element and compound they needed from far away, then they could see hull markings. You are correct, yes, and it's aldentium. That's the stuff. But yeah, I agree. You would think that they would know about Earth and Starfleet, but like I said in my little preamble there, how would their descendants feel about that? They were raised this way. This is all they've known. Would they want to go back to Earth? You know, so yeah. Would they be welcomed? Were they afraid that they wouldn't be? I don't know. We'll get into it, I'm sure. But yeah. All right. So Sam, what did you think on a rewatch? And has it changed your opinion at all? Let me know in the comments down below.
Okay, thank you. Probably I would still say it's the best of the season so far. And that's why I saw the other one with all the caveats of being the train one is far more fun, but it comes and goes and has the confusing canony problems maybe. But has a lot more fun and some intrigue, whatever. This is a very different second watch, I think it's fair to say, when you know, especially as a writer myself, having done many a film now, if you know the twist yourself because you wrote it, and you have to, hide the twist, then you might sometimes do things to go against the twist, like having them go when they get shot. That squiding like, alien life forms, whatever. things
I
like
think that's
that.
the tech that was getting hit.
But that's what I mean. They threw in something to show you with their aliens that go squealy squill,
Yeah.
but it's not true in the sense that that's not. So there's things like that that come across more disingenuous the second time because they're just there to fool you in a way. But that said, I was really looking for the stuff that was there to get you the first time, or the second time, sorry, and the spacesuits aren't shown enough to register as being human until near the end, which is when I caught them the first time. So that wasn't really different. What I liked about the episode was that it is absolutely a TOS 0.5 episode. And therefore, whatever lessons the people took who wrote this at looking at TOS episode, the strengths of TOS writing have rubbed off on this episode because it's far more TOS in structure, and that's benefited the story. It's far less jokey, far less silly. The acting is on point with a good amount of drama that's still based in structure and procedure and authority versus silliness. That helps. I think this Kirk in one episode already makes me feel like he's a better captain than Pike, which is a ridiculous thing to say in a way, but Pike is so chill that his crew walks all over him and he lets random shit happen. Kirk, within his first bit, takes control, even while looking weak for a second, comes in, directly asks for things, is more, I really liked his command style the second time because I knew where it was going. And it's just he feels not even confident, just you see the nugget of, damn, he must be a good captain. Because he is, and Pike is far more chill. The way he is at the weapon, etc., the tubule, is like there's a lack of captain authority that he had in Discovery because he was being brought as a guest star, but he has. I mean, you've got to be reduced to now a couple of minutes per episode of screen time, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's in no way the lead. I've said it before, but so he's lost a lot of that command presence. Well, acting's great. He doesn't have that captainness as much anymore because it's an ensemble piece, right? Everyone gets something, which means lots of people don't get anything. Ortega's once again thrown out the airlock in terms of, she could have been the one with Pike down below, wouldn't have affected too much. Would have been nice to do a bit more, whatever. Pelly was great. The phones were minimal and therefore well used. Nicely Farragut. I didn't even blink for a second that the sets the same. They did repolster the chairs a little bit, which is, that was fine. That was enough. Absolutely fine. And the nacelle popping off was a fun out, although they don't give 1 second of explanation as to why, how, or if that works. Just 2 Bassards hitting cause an EMP pulse or something with not a single iota of explanation, and we don't need it, but it is lacking the second time. I guess this okay. And they say, let me get line of sight to the Enterprise, even though it's inside the maw of the beast, which implies you can't get line of sight because the ship needs to go inside. There's a couple of things that felt like they hadn't designed the ship before they wrote the script, so they say it's a couple of things that aren't quite what the final is. But apart from that, probably the best of the season, just because it's the most Star Trek, the least silly, and to find and to see the connection between Spock and Kirk was genuinely nice, and that was better the second time for sure. There you go.
Perfect. We got Sean O'Sullivan, €2, complaining, fix your volume up. It's been a decade. And he complains that when he watches other YouTubers, it's at 18, his TV's volume, and when he listens to us, it's 94. But there's nothing wrong with the volume, so no. Ray Ricks, £5. I really like Scotty in this episode. Martin Quinn killed it, portraying Scotty's frustration with Kirk this episode. Yeah, he was one of the standouts for this episode for me as well, so... And Solaris, the long hauler rail fan, $5. And wonder how many Federation starships can eject the warp engines like that. All of them. Go back and watch our saucer separation episode. There's 2 parts, and it was in the original TOS Bible for the show that the ship could saucer separate and detach its nacelles, and we cover that. So check it out.
So I just listened on my phone, and at max volume we're clipping. So I mean, we're pretty loud on my phone, and my phone's a top tier Samsung phone, so
yeah.
I mean, it sounds fine when I'm listening to it, and Stuart's listening to it live, and it sounds fine on my phone, so any louder, and Stuart be clipping. Audio is clipping, so we've double checked before.
Yep. Maybe your TV's shit, Sean. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Oh, we got the folded threefold path with 5 pounds. I was really happy to see that they actually use phasers in their beam form this week
That's true.
in this episode. You don't just see that in New Trek enough. Yeah, but I noticed that too, but the thing that bothered me was that they're red. I wish the phasers were blue. It's TOS. They should be blue. Maybe they get
Well,
upgraded.
it's not TOS yet.
I know, I know. I've been here the entire time. I'm well aware where we are. Should be blue.
Yeah, and it was blue in Discovery, so they can be blue. They choose not to be blue. Like I did kind of, there's little moments of like, oh, that's fun, when Enterprise gets eaten up and you realize we're changing perspective. And I genuinely thought they might do a subvert expectations of like now we're 100% on Farragut, and that was the last we saw of Enterprise until the end, which I actually was very okay with based on the crew we got.
Yeah, that would have been interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember what that is. An episode of TNG or DSI where like it just doesn't go back to our cast, and it's really interesting. And I was like, oh, that's really bold because it is the crew we know on the sets we know, but not right. A small thing. But
Well, yeah, we start off with a first officer's personal log. Kirk just saying that he's essentially bored. That Captain Vinek, Virek. Anyway, she doesn't take risks. Uh, and there's even a moment where I thought he was going to get it. Risk is our business, but he's leading up to that. He works on that speech for a number of years before he gives it. But he does mention risk a few times in this, and he makes a bold claim of we should beam down to the planet, be boots on the ground, which is very Kirk. He goes down with every landing party.
that's true. I hadn't
So
even thought that.
yeah, so and then he later admits that if he had done that, they would have died in when the planet exploded. So yeah, I mean, it's a great opening scene. You get to see the planet get destroyed. You said you had thought Doomsday Machine at first, and I didn't think that watching this the first time for some strange reason, but it would make a lot of
But
sense.
the second time, even knowing what was coming, did you like sense it?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And I would have been fine if it was Doomsday Machine and you never saw it. As in, they dealt with it first. I mean, I guess Kirk could have seen it. Like they could have done it some other way, where like it was a thing of destruction that they're going through, and it really kind
Yeah.
of was. It was their own Doomsday Machine. Let's be honest, they did it. They had their cake and eat it. Whatever.
We never see it fire that beam though. It'd be cool to
No,
see where that beam fires from. So,
yeah, but I
um,
really like the fact that we've definitely. I mean, while it's darker than it could be, we've finally. This is not a Discovery space shot. This is a nicely lit, nicely Trek looking, lovely planet. It's just a nice intro Trek shot. Like I started to think, oh, that's nice. That was nice. That's a good way to start. It's a nice classic beauty.
mhm.
Good to see Kirk. Bit confused by the captain's haircut because boy is that un-Vulcan-y. I mean, that is a cosplayer's dream because now they can say, oh no, I can cosplay a mohawk looking. Right? It's crazy.
Yeah. Solaris, the long hauler rail fan, says, and what was with the phone? They used the phones because they were grounded. They explained this.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else was being jammed. But they're grounded, you got direct link communication. So, uh, Ray Ricks, 5 pounds. Also, I felt the end chat between Pike and Kirk was great. It
Mm-hmm.
reserved the dynamic in chat from A Quality of Mercy. Yeah, absolutely.
It was
Which never actually happened, but hey.
actually stronger the second time when you know all the context.
Yeah.
But I wasn't very impressed with the captain. She was, I mean, this Farragut's not like a high end ship in this version of the timeline. She feels like a quite low end captain, just like a chill, happy to
Mhm.
just do status quo, nothing special, which is absolutely fine. But she doesn't inspire confidence in me. You know what I mean? She wasn't played for
Yeah.
strength. I'm glad she didn't die, but you wouldn't be inspired to be her captain. And I'm sure she butts head with her EXO all the damn time.
Yes.
But as I
Uh,
said to you in our other review, I actually love that because it means that we've now given his actual backstory for the last couple of years before TOS is that he is used to dealing with Vulcans personally in a
yeah.
reverse power dynamic where he's used to speak Vulcan to deal with a Vulcan. And so when Spock comes over, who's used to dealing with humans on a human level, Pike is extra human. When they meet in TOS, they have to sort of swap, but they have each other's perspectives ready, and that's why honestly they click better. Now this makes a lot more sense. They've actually a lot of practice going in with very distinct personalities, so that was really a
Yeah.
nice touch.
Before anybody says anything, but Spock was the first Vulcan in Starfleet. We worked this out last night on my first reaction live. Spock was the first Vulcan to graduate from Starfleet Academy. All of the other Vulcans that are in Starfleet at the time graduated from the Vulcan Science Academy and are working essentially on Starfleet ships, including the entire crew of the Intrepid and the Immunity Syndrome. And that's what caused the 18-year rift between Spock and his dad, because Spock chose to go and embrace his human side at Starfleet Academy rather than go to the Vulcan Science Academy to graduate. Same path, essentially, but upset his dad. So, no problem with the Vulcan thing, honestly.
I mean, it's a technicality, but also you
Yeah.
could absolutely see them being honorary captains. Like they really like said, no, we need a few Vulcans in Starfleet. We'll get Captain Plaketh of the Dula, and we'll give her an honorary
It's like an
Federation.
exchange program. It's like an exchange program. There would be Starfleet officers serving on Vulcan ships, likely.
Hmm?
And the entire Vulcan crew of the Intrepid, that's just like a really great experiment. Let's see what an
It,
entire crew can do.
it's the exact same thing as Pike and Kirk never meeting, except blah blah blah, and then making a super technicality of how we can skirt that. Well, they're not actually Starfleet; they're transfers. It's like,
Yeah.
uh-huh, yeah. But I assume Grisha wasn't a very good captain. I don't think he was trying to be, but like she'll.
I thought we didn't see enough. She was doing a regular survey, and then she gets knocked to the ground and is out for the whole thing. The fact she wanted to get off the bio bed, kind of, and get back to the bridge, kind of indicates she is a good captain.
Yeah,
So I disagree.
just her tone, her style. I get
Well,
no.
she's used to dealing with this dipshit who's like a emotional human who wants to do the risky things, and he even says, I get it. She's playing it
Maybe
safe.
it's because she just isn't a very good Vulcan. Like there are really good Vulcans, and she just was okay. You know,
Mm.
I don't know. I don't know. She wasn't, especially in second watch. I'm like, yeah, she's. Yeah.
Solaris, the long hauler
Oh,
railfan, $5, and I appreciate that they recognize heritage equipment in the episode.
eh.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Sussy Guru 2000, €5. I think there are better words that Kirk could have chosen than bored. How about unfulfilled or unchallenged?
Yeah.
It was his personal log, though. And he's just, saying it how it is.
I mean, I can imagine, especially if you're doing the edge of space and you're just like looking at basic planets all the time and never doing anything active. Like he's probably been told no OAT missions ever. So he's probably, because second in command is often doing a lot of the other stuff captains want to do. So if every other month he's just doing another planetary survey, looking at squirrels and plants, and then the next one and the next one, it's not super engaging. That said, what is engaging is wabam, the planet gets blowed up, and that is an impressive visual effect shot, which is so tiny in the frame that it has almost a lot less impact. But it actually works really well in our perspective. Just seeing the fact there's a planet level destruction event, but it's from our perspective, not the ship's. It feels, if it's that big, that far away, goodness, great effect.
Yeah.
And it is a brutal. And I don't know what they're eating on the planet because like they wreck this planet. I don't know what they've eaten because there's I don't know. They never go into it, but I wonder what they're taking from it to need to wreck it in this way.
Well, Olduntium. They have to destroy the planet to get the mineral deposits in the
Oh, so that was
plants.
here. I thought it was just the next one.
Well,
Oh,
they don't say that, but
oh.
you
Well,
would that's what you would assume, that's what they're going for, because they need the fuel.
I assume everything. They're just going for anything and everything. Like, we want gold. Whatever that week's need is.
Yeah. But then we get Kirk kind of realizing his captain's down, takes command, calls sick bay, and then he's like, that thing, and you don't see what he sees on the
Mm-hmm.
screen. He calls for assistance,
Mm-hmm.
and then they realize they're being jammed, so they're not sure if it got out, and boom.
First plot hole, of course. I was listening. They say in the episode they are outside Federation space because they've got to travel to a buoy. So why is the Enterprise also outside Federation space next to Farragut? Because they don't.
Unsanctioned mission, like they've done twice this season. It's on off the books. They're doing something for
Hey, Stuart.
somebody on the crew.
But I mean, space is vast, and the way they frame it, they get there within a couple of hours, if not minutes, because they have terrible pacing. Like,
Yeah.
especially if the creature ship either. I mean, I'm fine if it ate the planet in the meantime, but it's not going to be like 5 days later. It's going to be same day, which means they are basically in the same sector, which means they're right there.
Yeah.
Why are
But
they right there, edge of space? Like they're not gonna be there. It's super unlikely. Especially as they were just at Space Dock 1 and like all these other things. Like why are you outside Federation space, which takes months to get to again?
what an entrance. Phasering debris and then sliding in, drifting in to like knock out some debris with their shields.
And
It's
bubble for
pretty
once.
awesome. Yeah.
You never get bubbles.
Oh, we have a few times.
But
Yeah.
almost never, is what I'm saying, like proportionately.
Yeah.
I wonder if that was a directive by these writers. They want beams and bubbles. Because that's well that's
BBs.
yeah, that's Star Trek, and normally it's hull and pew pews. I mean, genuinely, that might just be because the director
Well,
can help force that. And it was
you
great. It
have
looked
to
really
think
good.
there's different shield configurations. They're protecting another ship. They need to make it as big as possible, so they balloon it out. But yeah, I loved seeing that effect.
It looked
really
so much
good.
better than the hull stuff. Like it looked super nice here with the Prodigy style hexagons. Because that's Prodigy.
Mhm.
It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, they beam aboard. They are wrecked, and we really get a sense that like most of the crew are dead, or at least escape podded away and or dead. Basically, there's almost no one aboard. It's a very, very gone ship, and they're just keeping it because
Yeah, keep that in mind because later, where is the crew of the Enterprise? I realized that the hallway they're in, that's why they're wearing the suits because there's no breathable atmosphere, but still, it's something I noticed on a rewatch.
they don't like hiring extras a lot of the time. That's why there's no people in med bay or whatever. But a guy who feels like he just got attacked seconds ago, but that should have been hours, bleeding out, whatever. Things are real bad. A joke about an inventor that doesn't land, but it's not meant to. That's the joke. It's fine.
Yeah.
But he's cute. He wants to fix the ship.
Yeah, don't you quit on me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
It's definitely a Scotty episode, which I like.
Yeah, can't go wrong. Let's see. Hit the like button, guys. 76 of you here, which is amazing. Make sure you're subscribed and click the like button. Let's get those likes up to 50. Should be no problem at all.
We have 2 interesting videos this weekend, 2 ships, and one I don't know if you even noticed, but it's there. Go check it out.
Good video.
Yeah.
So let me get sick bay. The CMO is dead. And I gotta say, the ensign on board the Farragut, we need more of her. She should transfer to the Enterprise, in my opinion. She's a cutie. But yeah, the captain's not doing so well, having some brain issues. She wants to get back to the bridge, but that's just a captain thing.
Wait, are you saying her brain? It's almost gone.
Yeah. It's not completely gone like Spock's, but
Who?
sure. Yeah. Pharrell, that's her name. And yeah, the Enterprise beams over. Well, they've already beamed over, but they arrive on the bridge, and you get a nice little moment between La'an and Kirk with some looks like, which was nice. And I didn't expand upon it at all after that, but it was good that it was in there.
Worried's the wrong word, but as soon as that happened, I thought, oh, we don't really need all of that to add layers upon layers. Having already forgotten they'd already kind of closed that loop last time because of Carol Marcus. But the fact they acknowledge it, the fact that Spock registers it, and it's all of 4 seconds is spot on, perfect, moving on. Really nice touch, because, like, yeah, that's all we need. Absolutely great. But it's good to acknowledge it, because, yeah, you know, like, picking when you call people first or second name is so... I try and make it very important when I write my films. You know, you can do 5 films and never saying the first name, but once you say it, that's the statement, right? So for him to go for James, and this is La'an, right? It's like, oh, Spock noticed. So yeah, it's great. Which makes you realise that Spock and Kirk almost dated the same girl. But it didn't.
Yeah.
Almost.
Solaris, the long hauler rail fan, $5.
Thanks so much.
And on a related subject, can we get an update for Star Trek Starfleet Academy at some point? There is no updates that I'm aware of. 2 seasons is apparently confirmed. That's it.
And we just got a giant update with images, trailers, and such. Like what, 2 weeks
Which we
ago?
already covered. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's loads of stuff just came out. I would say just came out, right? That's pretty darn recently. So I'd go back and look at that because if you're looking for more stuff, you know, this is obviously a show about this. so they're gonna want to focus on this. But yeah, yeah, I think Nos come out.
And Ray Ricks throws in £2
Oh,
and says, "If you mean the ring ship, we did." Yeah, we'll talk about the ring ship a little bit later.
I don't though, Ray. That'd be too obvious. Come on, come on.
I don't think it's got a ring because a ring implies a warp ring. This was launched pre First Contact, no warp. So we'll get into that discussion in another video. Check out the Scavenger ship video. It's coming out.
And the other one that you probably didn't see. Tease, 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 tease. But yeah, I like the interplay between Kirk and Pike. Stupid, the view screen. He's so goddamn small. It just looks ridiculous, right? Like Pike, I know it looks really funny and silly, but that's okay. But I like the interplay, right? He's like, nope, you did your job, mate. I know you don't want to call her broken beyond belief, but off ship, people come first. We use our last 3 seconds of viewing power that we didn't know we had to get the data off. I didn't catch the first time as that was saying, because I wondered how the hell their data of the ship having only 2 seconds. But I'm glad that was there because they do have a few useful.
They also mentioned that Varel, the captain, ordered an evacuation order, so everybody's in like escape pods. They're like, well, we'll start getting those people, then we'll get the people off the Farragut. That's how many people do they get aboard the Enterprise, and are all the Farragut crew aboard the Enterprise? I guess they would be when it gets sucked in or pulled in, I guess. But it doesn't seem like enough time elapsed for them to rescue a bunch of people from escape pods.
Oh
personally.
no, Strange New Worlds not conforming to time and space rules.
I
That's
know.
a shame.
I know.
No, you're right. I mean, let's assume Farragut has 110 people, 90 for a smaller ship, right? I'm going to assume at least 20% got killed in the attack because it was giant, right? So 70, 60 people. They left the most injured 10 in sick bay, whatever. So 50 on escape pods. So let's say 5 pods. We never see them in the space shot, and they didn't know they existed until they walked in, and they had less than a minute to beam them out.
Yep.
I guess they did.
One of the other episodes earlier this season, they beamed over hundreds of people in the space of a second, which is not how TOS transporters would work.
Oh, you can't do that.
No, I know.
You just can't. My assumption is they beamed I'm going to say 5 or 6 escape pods just into the shuttle bay, but that would have been very nice to have seen. And then the thing comes in, because they definitely skip a few CG beats that I kind of feel like they're trying to save money on this episode in a few ways, and that's one of them. Like they pick the CGI they don't show. And you should have seen some escape pods, and like in theory, you should have seen some like open doors on the Farragut where the escape pods came from. That'd have been nice, because that's a big deal. I mean, is that our first canonical TOS-ish era escape pod launched?
It would be, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
And you see the hull of the Farragut later, all damaged and beat up, kind of like the Constellation in the Doomsday Machine. But there's no panels missing because all the refit Enterprise and the TOS Enterprise had escape pods, but they were hidden behind basically hull-colored panels. It would have been cool to see that. Yeah, it would have absolutely been. It could have been on the bottom of the saucer. We never really see that, I don't think.
That's a cop-out, but the whole episode has a few of those cop-outs. But that would have been so, I mean, like Equinox, right, or Year of Hell, to see notable holes in the saucer that are, like, square-shaped.
Yeah.
Like, that adds a lot of character. It's work, but that would have really added a lot of extra oomph, I think, to the idea. Not a lot of oomph, but, like, you know. And then Master Replica could have solved the battle damage escape pod launched Farragut model. $65.99, like I say, available now.
Yeah.
They just take a scalpel to each one and just break it. But a small thing, but it's like it's worth noting why there's basically no one on the ship. And why there should be like 100 people more on Enterprise. Boy, they're crammed in some rooms. But it's a big ship, so it's fine.
Well, I mean, yeah.
And don't you love how she says, I'll beam out now, beams out. Same sentence. So the transporter guy, seriously, had you listening into the call because he was told to, hands on the thing, oh, that's gonna be target beep. Like, didn't think about it, just instantly. It's like, dude, give yourself a beat to edit, right? A beat to have a second. Jesus Christ.
And Marcus P says, why are all those displays so distorted? Makes no sense. They like to do that when the ship's damaged. They just triple everything kind of with different colors and don't have it aligned. It's like, why? That's why in TOS they go to the displays they have because they're either working or they're not. There's none of that distortion.
It's the standard filter since Discovery Season 3, I believe.
Yes.
But in fairness, is it better? Is it better than flamethrowers?
Yes.
And it's better than like static, obnoxious static. Like it's at least it's something, but also not super obtrusive. It's
Yeah.
I'll accept it. I just don't want the flamethrowers because those are bad. But yeah, instantly the thing
Okay,
appeared.
I want to make a point here. The
Oh,
flamethrowers aren't so bad if they're fired, if they're not fired in unison. They're fired in unison with the exact same flame pattern each time.
the exact same
That's not how that would
spot
work.
through holes.
Like vary it up a little bit, that would be better. But I'm just
Like
sorry.
jokingly, it'd be fine if this had like portable flamethrowers off camera, and so you could just do them like randomly around the frame. Then it would feel more justified.
The Scottish Nightmare. The ship is so damaged that their flamethrowers don't work. Yeah. Yep.
I mean, yeah. The Hypno does say the escape pods may have been far away. That is true. They would have left the system potentially. In which case they in case they GTFO'd, like they were never caught until after this episode because they definitely did not go back for them in this one. But then we get an interesting editing choice. I love the fact that once again it's their perspective, Farragut. We see the view, not the views in the window, and everything's happening, and it's so small and pitiful. I like that a lot. But how did no one detect them? Because they were right there. This is seconds after Enterprise arrived, like a minute and a half. So this thing is very slow. It didn't warp him. How is it not detected? Right? Like they don't care as storytellers, right?
I can understand the Farragut not detecting them, but the Enterprise certainly would have.
Yeah. And you'd also detect a jamming field because then you detect why can't we detect the planet. I don't know, they just don't understand. Like this whole episode made me thought I should do a fan film where I also ignore the rules of time and space, right? Like we're in the edge of the Gamma Quadrant. Call for reinforcements. We're here. Great, good to see you. You took a long time. Sorry about that. We were having pie, and the whole film takes place in under 30 minutes, despite crossing the galaxy. It's like, yeah, why not? Why not? Who cares? Oh wow, a Borg ship appeared. That's a surprise. No one detected. Nope. Don't even talk about it. Just
lock on to every one of those Borg drones and beam them into space. Done, sir. Awesome. Let's go home.
Yeah, it was hard to watch the pace is fine the first time because you're enjoying it, but it is daft, and even TOS is smarter. Like TOS, they like distance and pace and time, and it's hard to have the same feeling when they just reduce it all. It's not the biggest issue, but I just can't take the show as seriously because it doesn't take itself seriously.
Yeah,
I wish it did.
Ozzy says, "Who ordered to abandon ship?" That was Varel, or the captain. She did it before she got sent down to sickbay.
While she was kind of dying and recovered.
Yeah, it's mentioned in dialogue. Colin Barrett, €5. As long as the Farragut does not get refitted to look all sovereignty class, it will be fine. LOL. It's funny.
Stuart,
my first reaction.
I know you have a great point about
this. I know. I'm going to still get into that. Last night on my first reaction review, somebody in the chat said, "Wouldn't it be great if the Farragut got refitted and turned into a Connie?" And I'm like, I said that earlier in the day when we were filming. Yeah, because it's supposed to be a fucking Constitution class, and it'd be great if it comes out of this going, it's so fucked up. Let's just make it a Connie. More power. Yeah, that would be great.
I can give her power, Captain, by making her a Connie. The only problem with that, though, is that then he'll go from one coin to another, which is a very interesting tonal shift, because in theory he had a promotion to Captain, but promotion to Flagship, well, it's not, but, well, no, isn't that point. I guess it's interesting if it's a promotion to a better ship, but just another Connie is not really a promotion. Not really. Famous, yes. Promotion, no. Yeah. But I would be very, very interested in season 4 when we see him again. It warps in as a Connie and they're like, "Jim, you got an upgrade." We certainly did. Done. That's it.
And the bridge looks more like the TOS Enterprise because it's a newer refit. It's a newer version. Be like, "I like your new bridge." Maybe the Enterprise will get one day.
Oh, wait. No, hold on. I almost made a video on this with you, but I thought that's ridiculous. There is one station and 2 stations that have goosenecks on the Farragut.
Yeah, I mean, it's an older ship. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's not an Enterprise, so they actually had they.
There's what? That's not true. Last week we
Oh,
saw one in engineering.
yeah. Sorry, yeah, of the new stuff. I mean, like
Oh,
they
okay.
made a point of making the standard set with older tech, and I was like, yes, no one's gonna notice it except the people who really give a shit. Thank
Yep.
you. Yes, good,
And a lot of people,
good stuff.
a lot of people have said too. I wish they would have made the bridge a lot differently. Like Sean Ferrick said that. Somebody on my chat said
Oh,
that,
what
and
did
I'm
he
like,
say?
no. That they wish they would have differentiated the Farragut bridge better than what they did, just changing the seat colors and stuff and the display colors. And I'm like, no, because that's every goddamn stupid producer in the world going, we can't have a refit Constitution class in TNG because everyone will think it's the Enterprise because our audience is stupid. Oh, that Enterprise J you made? We don't want the deflector on the secondary hull. Put it on the front of the saucer so people that are stupid in the audience can link it to the NX-01 because that's where the deflector is. Those are stupid producer ideas. So if they had made a completely different bridge for this thing, I'm glad they didn't because it's a fleet. It's uniform. It would have the same technology. Fuck producers, even the Defiant in Inamir Darkly, exactly the same bridge, except the railings were round as opposed to squared off like the Enterprise. Subtle change. You don't have to. We're not stupid, okay? We're not going to confuse the two. Why wasn't the Reliant a Constitution class in Star Trek 2? Because people would get confused as to which is the No, we wouldn't. We're not stupid. That's one of the reasons that decision was made. I'm done my rant. I had it last night too. It was much longer and better, but anyway, that's
Are
the
you okay,
truncated version.
Stuart?
Nope.
Excellent. Can we get a $1 super chat for Stuart's rant? We like his rant today. It's great. Yeah, no, I agree. I think I liked how it was bare bones different, but the doors are orange. It's subtle in dialogue, but you can tell your doors are orange, the chairs are brown, and the light and everything's a bit bluer. And you know
And
what?
different pictures in the briefing room.
It texturally feels different, and it's no spoiler. I have been doing a Strange New Worlds bridge recently, so I'm a bit more attuned because I spent a lot of time looking at one. It's just a cooler looking bridge, and it does feel notably different. And I liked that. You could have argued it made a different captain's chair with a different piece. Go TOS, just add a piece. That'd have been kind of
Like
fun.
the Excalibur and the
Just
Ultimate Computer.
anything, just something different in the back would have been nice.
Yeah.
Or well, no, you can do it for a Connie, but like yeah, it worked fine, and that is TOS lore. That is TOS fun. We use the same sets. I
Yep.
liked they kept that, right? Absolutely fine with it.
Let's save them a shitload of money. So,
Or just add more goosenecks. Like imagine that had been on the captain's chair, a gooseneck. That would have been
yes.
like then you can't confuse it then. And I wasn't confused
Yes.
which bridge it was at any point.
Neither was I.
Like,
Because I have eyeballs. They
well,
made changes.
anyway, so the ship decides to leave. Amazingly big ship. I love the zoom out. It's just freaking giant. Very much space whale looking with a skeleton thing. Warps out. I have thoughts on warp later. But yeah, they've killed the damn planet and they've gone. Whew. Wow. Yeah, there's the gooseneck. Brilliant. Love it. Love it. That's awesome. See it next to Kirk.
Shay Locomotive Productions.
Hey.
$2 for the
Hi.
Rantler. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah.
We need a big rant alert, like rant, rant at the top when I do it.
Raj. Samuel. Are you alright, Stuart? Stuart. Nope. We have some catchphrases in the show. We really do. So I like the intro. The episode was great up to this point. I'm not saying negative. Like all cylinders are firing, and I was genuinely excited that we just committed to Kirk because we've never had Kirk be a hero really as him before, and this, as trepidatious as we were previously of seeing a Kirk as captain, this is surprisingly good as a Kirk as captain episode. Surprisingly good. So well done them because they had no right to be this effective, in our opinion. I think it's fair to say.
And Ray Ricks throws in £2 that says rant, 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 rant alert. Yeah, but Spock says to Kirk, "You're the captain of the Farragut now." Dun dun dun. Well, did you notice some of the music too later when they're all on the bridge talking about the plan? It's very like movie Star Trek 2-ish vibe going on. The music was great this week. So,
dude, there is literal Star Trek 2 James Horner notes and then swapped.
yep.
I was shocked how much Nomi put in, because they work really bloody well with how she integrated them. I mean, Nomi's amazing. She's on Prodigy and Strange Worlds, and
Yeah.
both are the best scores. Lotus is great, but like those are the two best scores I think. Just listen
We
to
met her
them.
in Vegas. She's just really nice.
Really good, and I mean,
Yeah.
you don't need that obviously because it's the wrong era, wrong tone. But like the way she did it was just nice, and it makes you feel just happy. Be like, oh, he's stepping up, right? That's kind of that's what I got from that as he is, which I like. He didn't sit in the camera chair until later. I'll say that now. I like that was a mild, a tiny little plot point was nice.
I even like the way he did it with that cheeky little smirk, like
Yeah.
looking around. Oh, yeah.
I got this. But they do. I'm so glad they said this. They make a point. It's not actually his first time captaining, because that would have been really daft. It's his first time in a
situation
serious,
like this.
Yeah, which is happy with that. That's a fine caveat because of course you'd be second in commanding all over the place. Of course you would, but maybe not in a giant doomsday life or death. Happy with that.
Then we see the Enterprise entangled in all these look like vines, but they are cables. And I gotta say, I really like the look of the Enterprise here. I like the metallic Bizarre collectors. They look really great. But they're talking about the stuff they see, and it's like, I don't know, Klingon. It looks like some of the stuff's really ancient as well. So, okay, cool. But yeah, hand communicators aren't working. Too much interference. They can't communicate with the outside.
Like all communications are gone.
Yeah.
Even yelling. Can't yell. Crazy. Yeah, this was an interesting one because it's a very, they love their dark chasms of nothingness, these visual effects house. It gives you a sense of oomph, but I probably would have rather seen a very structured, like, distinct space and then like levels and then landed.
Yeah,
like,
me too.
Because this is such, like, this is in no way feels human tech, or humans would make this. Like, nothing about this screams descendants of human. And it should a sum, and it has 0% for me.
They like their big open spaces. The inside of the Gorn ship where they fly the fighter out. Where they're being stored. I was getting there. The Breen ship. Yeah. Yeah. It's a new trope.
It is. And that's the same thing. Vines is so organic. I was thinking, oh, they're gonna be like cool aliens. Again, second time, like, this doesn't really connect with what they were going for and everything else. Like,
we've talked about this. Maybe they found this derelict alien ship and that's what they confiscated because there's no way that they could build all this shit onto their ship. Their ship was just nicely tucked in there, which came out after the destruction.
And they killed everyone else. Yeah, they interdarked it. They found a ship, took it, defeated.
That's what humans would do. Well, humans, when they have to survive, can be quite vicious. So,
yeah, the only thing I say about otherwise the scene is that it's good, but they make a note somewhere we're running out of power. Why the hell are all the lights still on? Like lots of the lights. Just turn. I was expecting more of a turned off because the bridge is just.
Bizarre collectors are off. Obviously, they have no power.
Yeah, but it's like there's so many lights on the bridge. This is low power. The lighting bill is still high. You know,
but they use LEDs. They use really energy efficient LEDs.
100%, I get it, but it's like that's a lot of light still for being. Because she's like, main power's offline, engines are offline, but the bridge is still got 85% lighting. Like, okay.
As long as the bar's still lit. I mean, later it's not, but that's fine.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I kind of got excited that Ortega's was going to be important in this episode for some reason when I saw her on the bridge. Boy, I was let down by that.
Although she does make a personal massager joke, so I mean, there's that. Anyway, yeah, here's where they have the conversation about if you grew up on Colony World, you've heard about this thing, hundreds of years old, scavenger ship, prowling just beyond the edges of known space, make it sound all mysterious, consuming resources and ships. Yeah, which was it's fine, I guess. Both Lon and Una kind of had heard these tales, and somebody brings up that it was actually mentioned in Admiral Sawyer's class, the monster beyond the map. So,
but second watch that doesn't hold up quite as well.
Yeah,
because 200 years ago, a shitty little non-warp capable craft took 30 years to get out of our damn sector of space. They became bored, unhappy, try to find a new like just get into like Alpha Centauri without warp is like I'm sure decades. Which obviously didn't do. The nearest place. Like, even if they bumped into an alien, killed them all, got warp, decided, now we're not going to go back, we're going to go out, they take dozens of years to get anywhere because they're so slow, as we'll talk about later. And yet they manage it to the edge of space, which would take them potentially 80 years, 60 years at their speed, or whatever, and then cause so much chaos that they can destroy so many places that when they were young is becoming I honestly thought, and in fairness, it's no way explicit. Stories are just stories, right? Like, there's going to be fables everywhere. There's no reason to think A, this is that, and B, it's the same entity. They're just saying because they know a story. Especially like Klingon space. Is this really on the edge of Klingon space, or is it like, because borders are very long for this thing to go and cause damage on like Una's colony and Arn's colony and a Klingon colony? That's a freaking lot of space. This thing is slow as sin. That is not.
Yeah.
I don't see it doing that unless it just went like straight along.
Unless there's a lot, and then unless there's more of them.
Again, yes, 100%. Which would be actually. I mean, if the second one shows up, ho, right? That could be an amazing little like, we're back.
Well, we still need a story of how this ship came to be, and like I want that story. So, by the way, there are 77 of you here, which is fantastic. There was 80 a second ago, but hit that like button. Let's get those likes up to 75 if we can. Hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel for Trek goodness.
And if you want to super chat, it absolutely helps the channel do what we do and be less stressed, because it really does. 85 votes right now in the poll. Would love to get 90, which seems very, very possible. So if you've not clicked on the vote, click on the poll, go right now. Get us to 90, turn the tide, and we'll see where it lands. Because very interesting poll. This might be one of a kind so far. I'm genuinely surprised.
And Michael Williams says, clearly they were dragged into a wormhole, caretaker, or something normal Trek magic to make them far out. Yeah, I'm fine with that. They got V'd. They got wormholed somewhere else and found this technology. Yeah.
Honestly, they'd have to have been.
Yeah, because it would take forever to get anywhere with sublight.
Yeah, and it'd actually be really interesting. That's what I mean. There's such an effective level of, okay, go on, that most of these stories don't have.
Well,
I'm like, okay.
Somebody last night said, how are there 7,000 when there's only 8 or 9 to begin with?
Oh.
I'm like, no, in the dialogue it says they took their families, and it wasn't just the ones you saw depicted on
that was the press junket people.
Yeah, that was like the commanders, probably.
Yeah.
This was a generational ship that was leaving Earth because Earth was on its way out. Yeah. So they were taking their families, they took a bunch of people.
Yeah, I would think nothing less than like 150, 200 people, like properly.
I'd say probably more than that, but yeah, at the time, how many could you fit on a... They even say they basically looked through all of their space shit that they had after World War III and cobbled a ship together. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be hundreds, and it's going to be... Yeah, I would love to talk to the writer how much they genuinely thought, because there feels like there's thought, but also TOS didn't always do all the thought because they didn't feel the need to, and that's okay. But
I don't remember questions this big after a TOS episode.
Oh, we could find some if we went back.
I'm sure, but I'm just saying, like, this is I got a really interesting twist for this story. How are we gonna explain it?
It's people
this way.
What?
The rest doesn't matter, because that's only 200 years. That's not a long time in the grand scale of things to make this reputation, to have the Scavengers be,
because that is generational reputation, right?
Yeah.
It's a bit I just wish it was, because it would have been just as impactful to have it been like one of them knows, like they happen to be near La'an's colony. That's all you had to have, right? You didn't need to have all the extra stuff. I think it probably made it worse to have all the extra because you didn't need it. But
Olivia, though, $5. Sam, we have a Sam. Spock mentioned Sam. Oh, a different Sam. Sorry, Sam.
Well, I tried.
I mean, Kirk mentioned Sam, and then Spock also mentioned Sam. I said, it would have been cool to see him in this episode, honestly. But anyway.
Yep.
So we get a shot of the Farragut, damaged, no escape pods.
We repeat a couple of times.
Yeah, no escape pods launched, but definitely damaged.
Like, I never got the same level of damage feel as Doomsday Machine. Because this thing wasn't attacked. It got, like, hit in the side effect, right?
Yes, all the debris from the planet blowing towards it.
Well, even just before that, just the gravity Okay, I mean it's pretty banged up though. I give him credit. That is quite a damaged 3D model.
Hmm.
Huh?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no like popped open hatches for escape pods, which they said they all launched.
Yeah.
So
That's so odd though. It's like it's almost like claws have grabbed it. The way they're like very thin slices. Like it's very intentional.
mhm.
Huh. Huh. Cool.
But then we get a acting captain's log,
And a
and it's like
chess
under,
set.
yeah, under better circumstances, this would be thrilling. But I love how he pauses it because he's got people coming in. That's great.
Yeah, his tone is. We said this in another review. I've got to imagine it was intentional that he went back. Paul Wesley said, "All right, I'm being hired again. Cool, I'm back." This is actually Captain Kirk playing Captain Kirk. He's
Mm.
got to feel like Captain Kirk because he hasn't previously. We've made many comments. He's Guy, who's playing Captain Kirk. There's a
Hmm.
real distinct difference in tone here, in body language, in energy, in
Yeah.
structure. He might have like Shatner because I don't know if Shatner puts his hands behind his back that much, whatever. But I feel a Kirkness to that I have not felt. Not every time, but like just going to, as you said, the scene. It's like this feels like a yeah. There's something here, and I like it. It's tangibly different. And he definitely well done because he plays differently.
Yeah. And here they say it'd be hard to generate a stable warp field for something of that size. So it's probably slow. So I'm guessing like warp 2, warp 3 at the most kind of vibe,
We'll get there.
right? um, but yeah, and Kirk's like, well, regulations would say we tuck tail, run back to Federation space, and by the time we reach
Because
the
they're out of
subspace
it.
relay,
Because they're out of Federation
yeah,
space.
by the time we reach the subspace relay to get reinforcements, the Enterprise will have been ripped to scraps. And yeah, we're not going to do that.
And reinforcements will take weeks, if any, in range.
Yeah.
Probably months. Or just then the Discovery that we saw, the crossfield we saw in the it made me wonder though. First time in any Trek we've heard mass equals lower warp speed.
I don't know if mass, but size, maybe. I don't know.
I don't
Yeah,
know
I
if
think it's the first time we've heard that. Yeah.
because normally you just throw more power. You design a ship
Because
to do it
when he's talking to Pike earlier, he does say it's a ship bigger than anything on a magnitude
several
of
times. Yeah,
anything we've ever seen
very Vija
before.
like in language.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's like yeah, but you saw the Gorn. I mean, he didn't, but like the Gorn it's a taller ship by a bit less physical volume. But that ship is so is that ship now also would have to be logically dead slow. But no, I mean
Well,
this thing is like brute
unless they're
force
using
speed.
their between the suns warp thing.
I don't know what that is. But you know what I mean? Like to introduce that is so interesting because does
Yeah.
that must retcon that the sarcophagus ship was slow as sin because it was old and giant. Not necessarily as slow, but like that's now a thing. Okay, because sarcophagus. I don't know if it's ever necessarily fast, but like if it genuinely now things that big can't achieve that high warp speed because remember Trek ships don't get big. That's not a problem. But the over big ships, right? I just found it really interesting because that's not been said before as far as I can recall.
Yeah. I
And
don't think so.
they need it for the plot. So it's they're like, how do we add this to the plot? How do we mass? They're big.
Uh, Olivia throws in $5, 57 likes with 87 people here. Why have you not hit like, people? For Puggy's sake, hit the like button. And Sussy Guru 2000. My God, €5. Size wise, how does that ship compare to that dreadful Klingon cleaver from Discovery? That's a very good question.
I would guess the cleaver was half as tall because
Yeah, maybe.
the biggest tip was one ship and it was like six of those, and this thing was like so bigger. But yeah, fair point. Yeah, that thing would be slow as hell.
Hmm. Colin Barrett, €10.
Oh, thank you, Colin.
What I
Yes,
loved
you.
most in this episode was the TOS style social commentary. 21st century humans wastefully consuming resources they indiscriminately destroyed environments and wiped out life to get. Yes. Welcome to Star Trek. Social commentary. Social commentary.
And interestingly, social commentary of environmentalists who are so disliking of the planet to leave end up becoming mass murdering butchers. So environmentalists are also a problem. Because that's
Yes.
explicit. They're the best of us. They're environmentalists, and they become the worst people ever. They're worse than Equinox. So the lesson is: don't be a green zealot
Don't
because you'll be a mass butcher
Don't be a human. Humans do bad things.
No, just stay on Earth, fix the problem at home, because those that abandoned it because they were zealots end up being butchers. I mean, that's what they
Yeah.
told us. That's really interesting because they gave no reason for them to be bad except they were weird. Because there are, we've had some eco zealots in the UK that have caused many problems, and their mindset is weird, whatever. So it's interesting. That was a social commentary. But I want to approach someone's comment who's not super chat because I Devereaux, who we love Devereaux. In the TOS time, people were a lot more accepting of continuity errors and plot lines that didn't make sense. I have a thought. I want you to jump in first.
No, let's hear your thought.
Okay. First of all, there's a lot less canon because there was 3 seasons and they're inventing as they went, so there was no there isn't a minefield of stuff to get wrong because they're inventing it as they went. So for the most, and other things, there's a few things like they have like 5 of the most strong material ever, but then you can argue who invented new stuff, fine, whatever. And plot holes, they're also plot lines were very, very solid because they're written by a lot more talented writers. So, can you give an example of a continuity error in TOS, like the 3 seasons that is more? This was a fine episode, but can you give us an example, Deborah, of one thing that TOS plot hole in TOS in the 3 seasons is a giant plot hole, as egregious as we might do a common? Because obviously nowadays every bit of canon, it's a minefield, right? But back then, I mean, they were inventing. What do you think? How do you respond to him on that? Because I don't think people necessarily were, because there's a lot less going on.
Well, yeah, it's a different era for storytelling as well, more episodic. So they didn't really mention and then didn't tie into an ongoing serialized narrative. But yeah, I mean, you nailed it with they don't have to dance around a minefield of canon. They're making it up as they go. Yeah, I'm sure they contradicted themselves a few times here and there, but it was just better. I just don't know how to explain it. Yeah. Anyway, in the debris of the picked apart alien ships, they do see a active core, which is in a D7 battle cruiser. And yeah, all the venting on the ship, the Klingons wouldn't have survived. And Uhura's like, oh my God, even the Klingons couldn't fight their way out. We're doomed. Yeah.
I like the graphics. Nicely done.
Yeah.
Odd though, because that means this thing fought the Klingons in the last 2 years because D7s are that new, and there's 3 in there. This thing wreck shop, which I'm fine with.
I love that there's 3 because there's 3 that also approach V'ger. They tend to work in teams of 3.
Yeah. And some other stuff we'll talk about later, or you'll talk about later. But it's interesting because the Klingons, these are brand new ships, right? Because Pike's antiques, but we never see any there's no NX here, there's no any antiques in the hull. They only show the whatever. Why do they never address the fact that, guess what, Stuart? In those brand new D7s, there'd be records of Starfleet, the Federation, and humans. So when they say later they either didn't know or didn't care, no, they knew about Earth and Starfleet because any ship that knew about the Federation would get their database for
they would have had to, yeah,
100 years or more. So they are whoever these religious eco zealots are. They've known about Starfleet for a very long time. They're choosing to attack us. They're choosing. Show some bad people, but there's a story there. Star Trek Online.
Yeah.
Do it.
I love the whole too. Your ship was so banged up it wasn't worth taking. It's like Scotty is pushing Kirk's buttons a little bit here. I just don't think Scotty has any faith in Kirk. But yeah, I like the interplay between the two of them in this episode. He was a little insubordinate, but he also kept it within. I think it was done very well.
Well, he's an odd duck. Is this Scotty?
Yes.
And he's consistent with himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, hard to place him. He feels young. And he ain't that much older in TOS. I'll say that. He ain't much older. But he feels a lot more mature in those years. But this is their first ever mission together, so that's a big deal. That's special. Does it work? Yeah.
So here they are on the Enterprise now, and they're complaining about the turbolift not working. And we only have 8 decks and 2 access ladders left to go. Where is the rest of the crew of the Enterprise that should be scrambling around doing things? We only see 3 people, and they're not in their suits yet. So this deck still has atmosphere and life support, and they almost kill Pelia. Oh, you
Who
don't get the
doesn't almost kill
5,000.
Pelia?
You don't get the 5,000 years old by getting yourself shot a lot.
That's a hell of a
And,
number.
that, and
5,000.
then yeah, and then she tells him about the umbilical, and she's like, "Come with me."
But not to see it, because I can't take you to it. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, it's so nebulous time, right? If this is same day, fine. But there is standard procedure, you know? Because they definitely imply, I noticed the second time, that we've got intruders aboard, because they sent a runner to engineering, and he doesn't come back. We've got intruders. Okay, they know that. The way they say that to me implies, and they've killed lots of our crew. That's how I read that, you know, and that's why in these scenes, like, lots of people are dead. Because otherwise, yes, where are they? They're obviously in it's like first contact. They're on the decks that are habitable, but who on deck 9, who can't communicate, knows that people are on deck 14 in engineering, who are bad. There's definitely a
yeah,
disconnect, but everyone's got standard procedure. I'm sure there's literally a thing in the book saying, "Oh, no signal for more than an hour. I'll head to emergency evacuation room 6." Right? So there's going to be pockets of people who presumably have phasers loaded and ready, who are either not doing anything, or because wouldn't you think, like, in any given room there'd be like a lieutenant commander, and they'd say, "Oh, the ship's in danger. I can't get the bridge. Who's the bravest with me?" And then like 4 security guys are like, "We'll go," and they go and they do it. Like, yeah, yeah, that's a fair point. 100, 200 people, and no one has any initiative.
yep,
Yeah, there should have been corpses all over the place, like just strewn next to that umbilical, just corpses. Because yeah, teams tried, they got massacred. That would have been great.
yeah, yeah. They say here that it's emitting toxic fumes as well. So,
Oh yeah, that's why
um,
it's on there now. Do you remember that? Did you ever see that Canadian? I think it was Canadian, like, TV show broadcast about Into the Darkly, when a guy went on set and interviewed everyone,
yes, I believe
and
so.
he becomes a red shirt on the floor.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah,
then
yeah. I
they
think so.
say, and Scott Bakker's like, "And you're gonna be in it," and he's like, "What?" And they give him a shirt and he's in it. That's what we
Yeah, yeah,
needed,
yeah.
right? A behind the scenes feature of saying, "Right, 10 fans from the world, you're gonna be corpses on the floor. We are. Put on this shirt. Well done. You know what I mean? That's why I thought, that sort of defiant level deathness.
Yeah, and it's actually the next line actually makes a good point. It's tapped into our power systems, our computer network, and our fuel storage. So the computer network, yeah, they'd be getting the data. They would have probably found a Starfleet ship prior to this. Yeah, they would know about Earth,
Well,
and even if they didn't, the Klingon ships would have databases on the Federation. So
that's such a good point. So they know they're Starfleet, they know they're Federation, they're human, and they don't care. Otherwise, they would now stop.
you
Wow.
say that, but then later when the guy sees that Pike's a human and doesn't fire at him, or pauses at least, because it's kind of surprised that it's a human, makes you
I
wonder.
But it's because Pike can't die,
I know. I
right?
can't pull the trigger. It's just what's going on?
Yeah. No, that's I mean
Anyway,
that's just such an interesting point, because yeah, like they know,
yeah.
and yet, yeah, it's interesting. And also, I want to break it, again here. 11% auxiliary power.
Yes.
The whole episode, 11%. And it goes down through the episode, and yet they're relatively chill. And Benga saunters like there's nothing. 11% is basically dead. Warp core off, main power off, auxiliary power down 10%. Why are your lights still on? What? That's not enough power. There's not enough.
They turned off one panel in the lab. Like one of the panels is off. The floor is still lit up because that's important.
We need that.
But
Yeah. I mean, it's
super efficient
impressive.
LEDs, I tell you.
It's impressive to make it like 70%. That's fine. That's enough, right? You don't need 6% and falling. It's like, no. Oh, I think the
Yeah.
poll's done. Yes, 102 votes, Stuart. Please read out the poll, because that is a very unique result for the show. So I'm very interested about
He asked me to do that because he can't read. What did you think of this episode? Doomsday Ship Part 0.5. Loved it wins with 48%. Liked it at 42%. okay or meh at 9%, and did not enjoy at 4%.
And you know
So
I
yeah,
can't math, so what's that?
that's a lot. I can read, I can't math. You can math, but you can't read. So
I am smart. I make us
we
go.
complement each other.
Ah,
Yeah.
ah. Thanks,
You are
Brian.
smart. You make us go.
Well done, guys. I'm because I heard from the grapevine of people on the internet saying this was really boring. Yeah,
But
like multiple people
I
say.
haven't heard that once.
So I thought there'd be quite a lot of do not enjoys. That has got to be our highest rated review score of the season so far by a
I think
substantial
so.
margin.
Because everybody I've heard is saying this is finally Star Trek's back. This is the best episode of Strange New Worlds this season. That's all
Yeah,
I've been hearing.
because that's a really good result for what is a very simple episode compared to other things. Wow, good job. Very nice.
Yeah. Get a nice little scene here between Kirk and Scotty, and he's like, "You got to push those engines. We gotta get past this thing. Full impulse or full warp. Sorry, because it's only going slow warp, so we can overtake it." And Scotty's like, "You're not asking me to overtake it, are you?" And then yeah, he does say you're gonna have to pull out a miracle. So he's not a miracle worker yet, and he says it's gonna take 2 days to get this thing repaired. So
And it probably doesn't
yeah,
even take 2 hours based on the framework of this episode. Because 11% power!
yeah.
I'm not saying they're necessarily at the same time, but yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
Have you
this.
heard of the expression? Uh, if you think we can get the high speed after the beating she just took, your bum's out the window.
I mean,
Have
it
you
makes
heard that?
sense as an expression, but I've not heard of it.
Okay.
But I mean, I would assume they'd ask just, um,
Maybe the Scottish Nightmare knows. Is that like a saying?
like we say bum, so that tracks, but no, not saying I know. I actually think this is one of the best scenes of the episode because it's
Yeah.
so. Again, if you told me in Discovery Season 1 we're going to have a scene with the first real interaction with young Kirk and young Scotty, I'd say, God damn it, don't do it. It'll be emo Scotty and and Kirk with a bloody mohawk. It's like smoking, right? And it is pretty good because they aren't friends. They don't know each other. They are batting heads, but Kirk is so patient because he's like, "You're I'm captain now, so I'm telling you to," which is right,
Mm.
right? And so he's taking it because it's his job. But there's a lovely disconnect. But because they do accept each other as well, despite not doing it fully, it's a nice interplay. Because he's like, just do it. It's gonna kill us all. No, do it, and don't kill us all.
Yeah.
No, you can do it. But that's such like, the nugget of where they are later, where they both like chill to each other. I absolutely see it here. That said, my one laugh out loud of the episode was maximum warp.
I think he meant maximum that you could achieve.
Oh, they go 7 later. That's max ever. Guys, high warp. What a dick. Our warp drive is down. You got 2 hours to make it full with the damage. That is balls to the walls ambition. That is kill us, Mr. Scott. Like, just go 1 warp faster than the damn ship. Not full. It's ridiculous. But I laughed because it was so jarringly full warp. I bought it. And we know Scotty is only good under pressure. Apparently. So it's a good scene. He's really good in this, Mr. Knotkirk.
Yeah. Next scene's great though. They're talking about having no power to do anything. They could fire thrusters. It's a chemical reaction. You can do it manually, but communicating would be a problem, and we end up smearing ourselves on the wall. And Pelia comes in. So a communication problem. Maybe it's the first time I'm glad I lived through the 1980s.
I thought people liked the 80s.
People love the 80s. I don't know why she said it like that.
Yeah, of all the eras, it's like people like the 80s in general.
Maybe she had a rough 80s. Maybe she got
Oh
into
yeah.
cocaine and had a cocaine addiction and got divorced.
No,
And
I loved the cocaine. It was the best
well, late
time.
in the upcoming episode where they turn into Vulcans, she does say it doesn't affect her, and she's like, the same thing happened with LSD back in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
It just doesn't affect me.
I will say though, I had a little sadness both times. I'm like, oh yeah, Ortega's in this show. Little violin.
Yeah, I
Because
think
we've
she did
already
okay.
had more dialogue Scotty this season, this episode than has like she's been replaced. I said like pilots are very useful. I have a pilot in my show that's very useful. I'm like, oh, she's such a good actress, and she does so good at her work, but they give her so little. It's made me a little bit sad here, right? Especially like, don't I like Mitchell? She's fine, but just have her, just have Ortega. Give her both lines, right?
She's
Don't half the lines.
she's been typecast. She flies a ship. That's all she does. She doesn't get lines.
I just felt sad because we met her. She was lovely. She was 6 in, and they are not achieving what we all thought they were going to do. Just give her anything.
Oh, fuck. I'm on the next scene where they fucking come up to the umbilical, and guess what Pike says? We just heard this from Pelia, but Pike says it's hooked directly into our power grid, our computer systems, and our fuel pods. No shit. You were just told that in the last scene.
Yep.
Anyway.
Well, he knows Anna's a habit not listening to people. She's hot-headed.
Yes, as head of security, she absolutely wouldn't.
Yeah. Look, the audience forgot. It's been 3.6 minutes.
Yeah. That's probably accurate, yeah.
Now, I know we both had this thought, but I'll let you go into why. Full face covering suit, which is the first. You noticed it, I noticed it. Why do you think they've done it? Because it's so like, okay.
Well, yeah, they do say they're going to need to take breathers because the atmosphere is toxic. That's fine. But yes, usually you see the actor's face. It's really bad for show like movies like Top Gun where they have to see the actor, even though their face shields you can't see through them because that's the point. But yeah, this I thought, is there going to be some massive stunts coming up? So they just actually have the stuntmen already disguised, and yeah, there's no real purpose for this except for to not indicate to the scavengers that they're human. So yeah.
There's always a reason. Because it's such a like. Have they ever not had faces? Because there's spacesuits with faces. There's the red suits with faces. You don't need a no face for anything. Yeah, it's like, well, we can't have them see us early on, despite them being in your computer system and reading English.
If this was season one, the only one that wouldn't have a face screen is Hemmer, because he's an Andorian and because he's blind. So he wouldn't need that, obviously.
Oh.
Yeah, but I think that's the only reason. So that reveal of Pike later as a human
Has some vague merit, but not as much when you think about it.
no.
Like, can you imagine that they have these stragglers and they access the computer and read English? Right? You'd think, wow, descendants.
Yeah.
I
That's
should
the
not
new
murder
thing,
them
though.
all.
That's the new thing. Like, the more you think about these new plots and stories, the more they fall apart. They're fun in the moment. They're fun actiony, but older Trek holds up a lot of the time under scrutiny. Not always at all. But overall, I think the writing was just better back then. Now it's very much just like, let's get this action going. Don't think about it too much, because you think about it too much, it starts to fall apart, as we tend to find out when we do these reviews. So,
I mean, most people ever will never do 2 hour designated such, like 2 hours on this ever in their entire lives. But we've done this for almost all TNG, and right, same exact principles.
and most people have discussions about it, but they watched it once on their own separately and come and talk about a few things, but they don't look at every scene by scene, break it down, and look at the yeah. 67 of you here, which is fantastic, guys. Make sure you're subscribed and also click that like button. We have 68 likes. I'd like to get up to 75 if we could. So if you haven't hit like yet, please do. And vote on the poll, which just popped up in front of me, which is magical.
Yeah.
What do you think of Paul Wesley as Kirk here? He felt kind of Kirk. He felt like Kirk finally. He's always felt like Kirk. Still didn't feel like Kirk. He was totally okay. It's a tie right now. It's a four-way tie at 25% for everyone. It's only 4 votes. That's 4 of you that can't agree on anything. Go vote on the poll because it's a good poll.
Yeah, because we've said our piece. He's interesting. Now I was very pleased we got aliens. Like with the fact that we got a forward progression, it wasn't just a ship doing it automatically. It wasn't just abstract. The fact I was like, okay, we're gonna get something new here. We're gonna get some space. I like that. I like that a lot actually.
Yeah. So next scene, we got finally up to warp 7. Yeah, the ship's held together by duct tape, but we've overtaken the scavenger vessel. I'll be taking drinks from everybody later, after we've saved your ship, of course. That felt a little out of place to me, but I get the cockiness of Kirk at this point. Like, yeah, we did the impossible here because of my orders. Yeah.
I did none of the hard work, and yet we did it. Come on!
And then we get the chair moment before the ship kind of falls apart and they fall out of orb. So I do like the chair moment though, where he kind of looks at it, looks around the bridge, kind of cheekily sits in it, you know. And he's very Kirk here. The way he sits, the cross-legged, the way he taps on the hand on the arm of the chair, I think it was really well done. But yeah,
Yeah, and then before the thing happens, I'll mention it. Yeah, this was so interesting because this has got to have been a couple of hours, right? Got to have been a couple of hours of fixes, and he's been doing things, and I imagine the ship is getting more and more fixed. He feels really good about that. Everything's gone well so far. They jumped into warp. It must have also been at least a couple of hours at warp. It can't have been seconds, can't have been minutes, right? Because I'd imagine that they're slowly ramping, right? So they've gone up every 5-10 minutes, pushing the warp. They start at 1, 2, 3. So now it's 7. 7's the big number. They took a while. Fine. I'm fine with that if that's the context. So he's thinking, it took us an hour to ramp up. It's going really well. We're doing fine. And now right? I like that. And does he think it's going to break? No, because he's confident in Scotty. It's a little bit confident, but I think he's trying to almost reassure the crew
that he did the right thing and he knows what he's doing.
But it's working, right? That they can do it because it's their crew as well. So I think it's cocky is not fully reassuring and positive and just good vibes.
But to say you all owe me a drink later, after we save your ship, of course, just tonally was a little wrong in the situation. Yeah. After we recovered everybody and got the Enterprise out, that's the time to say something like that.
But that's also good though, because it shows that he grows and that he celebrates too soon, sort of vibe. So I'm fine with that mostly. I think you're totally right to some extent, but I think it rides that line of like not appropriate yet, and so he learns, and he certainly learns in this episode, right? He grows a lot just in this one piece of like, oh, that's not what Kirk will do yet. Well, we're not there yet. Oh, now we're there. Great.
Yeah.
We get there.
Then we get Scotty coming on, blasting about the plasma intake manifolds. They're shot. You need a starbase to repair them. I told you so. And then we find out about Sullivan's planet that has a large deposit of aldentium. And the ship is on its way there. It's got a population of like 100 million people, all pre-warp.
Did I say that earlier? Because they were chasing it to that planet.
No, this is where they say it. Because this is where they're looking at the Sullivan's planet thing.
They had sensors. They would have known that hours ago. And also, it's
regardless.
Okay.
Yeah, they're talking about their options here. So, and Kirk's just like none of them.
Yes. Yeah, it was an interesting approach. None of them approach.
And I can't think with all these people talking in my ear. And he just leaves.
He almost calls it prattle.
Yes,
but he doesn't, and I have full respect for him because as long as it doesn't say the childish line, it's fine to be feeling. It's going that one step further goes too much.
He just calls them chattering voices in his head. So,
and it's fair. He's not used to most bridges aren't everybody of every rank talking to him. It's the captain's job to ask people their opinions. That's the Pike approach, which doesn't work for him. Nor does it work on TNG, on Voyager. Can you imagine if Paris and Tuvok could both take, it wouldn't work, right? It's not, and that's why Pike's crew is so odd. It's just really informal.
That's what briefing rooms are for and meetings. Put on all this information. Yeah. Susiguru 2000, €5. Aldentium sounds Italian. It does. It's al dente. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so now I've got my biggest problem in the episode. Are you ready?
Oh, good God.
You're welcome. I wrote it down.
Ranch alert.
Okay. And let me know what you guys think of my problem here, because it's a problem. Okay. In this scene, they've been chasing ship for unknown amount of time, right? Cool. They are able to go past the ship, right? Confirmed, yes? And they say it in the scene, right? So we know the moment they go past it, right?
Yes.
And I believe they say 2 hours to the planet at that speed. But I lost focus on that as I was counting the other thing.
Possibly.
So they give numbers. So They've achieved warp 7. Great, we have a number. And they lose warp 7 in this same scene in real time. So I counted Mississippi's. They stay at warp 7 for 38 seconds. They then say it'll take 1 hour for the other ship to catch up with them. So they travelled 1 hour worth of distance of the other one's warp speed for 38 seconds warp 7. Think about that for a second. Just under 40 seconds of higher warp is an hour distance. So the enemy ship must have been going, I mean, not even warp 1. Not even close. An hour in 38 seconds of catch up. Which means one more second would have been like another 12 minutes. Like that's absolutely absurd. 38 seconds, an hour of distance in real of warp. They are not even going warp 1. There's no way in hell that speed differential makes sense. You know, because like 1 hour at warp 1, you can go a long way.
This is the same rant you have every episode.
Yeah, but 38 seconds
and time. I'm just saying they don't give a shit.
But that's good though. That means that in canon, they are so unbelievably slow that they would take decades to go places. Because, especially 2 hours warp 7, what's that going to be for the Scavengers? A year? If it's, you know, that level of difference, that's astounding. So they are not in any way useful. Basically, they're no threat, these people. They have no ability to go fast. None. If you can... Because think about it, right? They destroy a Klingon colony and they leave. Right?
Takes months to get anywhere else.
If they're warping for, you know, a week, you can make up the difference in minutes, in a day, half a day. So every fleet can catch up with them with no issue at warp 7. I just found that really interesting. Like, there's no time cut, there's no whatever. They couldn't pass them for an hour. No, absolutely astounding. 38 seconds. I'd love someone to do math on that because it's really impressive how slow they are.
I don't even know where you're getting 38 seconds from.
Oh, I counted.
Oh,
it happens in 38 seconds. And there's no jump. There's no
what?
time between them saying we overtook them warp 7 and we dropped our warp is 38 seconds. So that's how long. That's how far it took for them to be an hour difference for them traveling at warp. It took them an hour to catch up 38 seconds of distance. Like that's astounding.
Yes.
Yeah.
And in some of these scenes, you can see goosenecks behind Spock specifically, which is fantastic. Talk about his command style. Obviously, his style is lacking. Pointing at the chair. Love that. And then we get, because we talked about, Sam and I talked about this before, Kirk has the trifecta, right? He's the action guy. He's got Spock, who's his logical side, McCoy, who's his emotional side. And Spock says, well, maybe he needs somebody a little more, less emotional. And he goes in to talk to him. Here, very much, Uhura is actually all three of them, Uhura, Chapel, and Scotty are kind of his emotional side. He's lacking his McCoy element to his command style. So, but yeah.
Okay, so TNG warp scale, which is not TOS. It is across the solar system. He's 1 minute at warp 7, so that's a relatively comparable number. Or 38 seconds, warp 7, but 39 seconds warp 8, TNG warp scale, and 1 hour warp 2. So TNG warp scale, there is that differential between warp 1 and 8. TNG. Of course, TOS is much slower, but...
Different warp scale, yeah.
Different warp scale. But that's what I'm saying, they must be going warp 1 or lower. Because certainly...
Maybe.
They went warp 7, so we know. So even if TNG warp scale, 1 minute, 1 hour, warp 1. Which means at warp 1, it would take them 6 months to go 5 light years, TNG scale. Take them 3 years to go 20 years across one sector. And it would take them 100,000 years to go across the Federation. So for them to get to the edge of Federation space, would take them 50,000 years. At warp 1.
Sesaguru says it best with his €5 super chat. They always travel at the speed of plot. Correct.
It's just weird when they give us that literal a second Like,
And
oh,
yes,
right.
Devo, we're aware that Strange New Worlds is still using the old warp scale.
I
Yes,
said that what 5 times, 6 times, 7 times?
I know, I
Very
know, I
explicit.
know.
But it's interesting because it's dumb.
They use the Discoverse scale. Yeah, exactly. And the Kelvin scale, where you can get from Earth to Kronos in a couple hours.
It just shows how much more advanced Starfleet is. That it's that unbelievably different and fast.
Yeah. But no, the back and forth here between them all deciding what to do with Kirk,
Mutiny
the Kirk
almost.
problem,
Goodness.
is quite interesting. So,
I mean, they don't know him. In that regard, it works. And I like Chapel using a medical reason. Like he's breaking. It's like he's not actually breaking. He's just not decisive enough yet. But they don't know each other, right? So that actually works fine. And they probably want Spock in command. But also Spock is very, very, because he knows he's the future captain's boy, second in command. He's really loyal to Kirk this episode. Like to the T of like, he's a CO. I think we should go with him. He's right on the point of trusting this guy, and it is really specifically, yeah, go Spock. You are very good
I
for this guy.
like how later it's called acting captain or Captain Kirk, and he's like, I don't feel comfortable with that. With whatever her name is still alive. Spock's like, don't worry, I'll demote you at the earliest possible convenience.
It's a great joke. I mean, I don't think Nimoy would ever make that joke because it's a ridiculous joke, but it's a good little joke.
Yeah, it is good.
It's dumb, but it's good. I really like Spock in this. He's not like they're not. It's weird, but like I like his vibe. And they knew they're very conscious of their future relationship. They kind of play into it. Doesn't make sense. But I like it a lot.
Yeah. But we had an injured security officer in the last scene, and
Yeah.
here we are dragging her body, and they're being chased by these two things that look like they have huge elephant trunks. Like, I love the bulky spacesuits they have.
Because you
Definitely enhanced with an alien tech.
yeah, because I'm 100% sure they just got NASA style suits. I mean, you can see the top is just NASA, but they did all the stuff to hide it. So it's a very nice like both and neither. And I love the fact that they say at various points in this episode, the energy dampening is more advanced than anything we've seen before.
Yes.
And the guns are more primitive than they should be. A nice disparity. They're very like, this doesn't make sense, which I like.
Yeah, because Lon fires at each of them and they just absorb blast. And she's like, I've never seen anything like that before.
Yeah.
Uh,
But they just obviously nicked it off some guy, shoved it on their suit. Is you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not. They didn't design that clearly. Just sort of have it. It's great.
Colin Barrett, €5. I suppose we should be grateful the Strange New Worlds Enterprise does not have a Discovery-style pocket universe in the turbolift shafts. LOL. Yes.
All hail the great koala who has helped us get rid of those fucking turbolifts. He has been kind. True.
Praise the
be the great
koala.
koala. Destroyer of the turbolift roller coasters. Yeah.
But they go into the bar and Pike's like, we gotta help her. She's bleeding out. And Juan's like, no, I think she's dead. And she's dead. So
And I was quite taken aback by that. Like, it makes sense because they probably tried to talk to her in the scene.
yeah.
And there's no point in that, but it's like, damn, okay. Red shirt,
And
red shirting.
we find out that he says if we had a transporter and you got her to sick bay, we could have helped her. And she's like, you don't know that. Those ion particles are like bullets. They rip through flesh and bone. Primitive but effective. Yeah.
Which I can't imagine you get first time as a hint. But, like, yeah, they're using basically sci-fi bullets.
Yeah.
Yeah, works.
DUI Champ throws in $10.
Oh,
Thank you so much.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Since the Scavengers are descendants of humans from nearly our time with our values, it makes sense that there was a 50-50 chance they would be utter thieves and assholes. Yes. Anything to survive. Humans are awful when it comes to that survival situations.
Yeah, but they were the best of us. They were scientists. They were nice people, pacifists. They were good people. They were climate change activists. You know, they were good people.
There is no best of us.
Oh. Yeah.
Classic for Real throws in $5,
Oh,
and Goody Classic for Real is here. Fun fact about this episode: it is literally impossible to skip a TikTok ad. I will prevent the YouTube player from even closing. It will prevent the YouTube player from even closing until the ad concludes. Get premium. It's worth it. $15 a month. No ads. I've had it for years now. I can't live without it. Because my one account has it, my other one doesn't. So if I accidentally watch something on my other account, I'm like,
But would you rather they put that towards that or a super chat, or not super, or a Patreon?
Oh, yeah. I'd rather just not be interrupted when I'm watching something.
Fair,
But anyway,
fair dues, fair dues.
this scene's great. They try to break in. Pike's like grabs a bottle. I ordered this from the Illyrian distillery or whatever. We'll get you another one.
It's a Pelias race. It's a Lanthanite, I think. Is it?
No,
Oh, is it
no.
Lyrian?
It's not Illyrian. It's something like that. Let me get to
Yeah, I
there.
thought it was a
I'm
Lanthanite.
trying to catch up.
Yeah.
It's hard to like read and not miss anything. So,
Yep.
classic for real, $2.
Oh.
P.S. Red shirt helmet lady is meh as Wesley's acting. Yeah, he thought she might be hot yet last night when he was on my first reaction live.
Oh.
But so yeah, he says this is imported from the Ithonite distillery. So Ithonite.
Okay. Now I gotta steal these spacesuits. They're really dark the whole time. Weird.
Yes.
I
And
mean,
the way they walk, I can see why people thought they were Packlids.
yeah, yeah.
They definitely have a Packlid vibe to them.
And that would have been in fair had it been an entirely different episode, different like designs. That could have
Oh,
been quite fun if they're Packlids at first without knowing.
that's the thing at the end where they say 7,000 life forms, all human. I wish there would have been other races in there to show that the
They're
humans
not
have kind
racist.
of, yeah, and they've appropriated other races, maybe as even slaves or whatever,
Yeah.
because
Mm-hmm. They're dicks.
yeah,
Yeah. But you need the explicitity of the we killed that many people. It has to be that black or white, that vicious for it to kind of work as a thematic. But yeah, weird armor, very in keeping with the arm blade things. I was just wondering if like the gun looks like a gun. No, it's alien. It looks like the rifle from Galaxy Quest with the shell casing.
mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
It was just generic alien. Would have been kind of cool if it was like an M16 with a shell around it, because they wouldn't recognize M16, would they?
Mm,
Really? I don't know. It would
yeah.
necessarily, but like just a sci-fi M16. That's it.
The Stanley say I thought they'd make a Molotov cocktail. They did essentially. They rolled it on the ground and blew it up and fire. It's
Didn't
the
do
same
much
thing
though.
as a Molotov cocktail would do.
Well, it
So
didn't have to. Yeah. They go straight to Pelia, who has to power her stuff manually, which makes sense because they wouldn't necessarily use charge off the main ship. It just bothers me how chill they all walk in and Benga. Like he doesn't, as if the ship's not at 7% power, with the outside of the ship freezing. So they say that and everyone always in death. He's just so inappropriate in this scene. Why is he joking?
he's a
What?
doctor. There's nothing he can do.
I know he's also a war vet. Like he's just so doesn't. He's so out of place in this scene. I mean, I think it isn't much
What?
better, but
Yeah, what's really out of place in this scene is her apartment decorated in just 1970s and 1980s stuff. She's been alive for 5,000 years. And I think it was implied earlier when we first met her that she's been on Earth for most of that, but
mm,
still, there should be more interesting stuff to look at here. Regardless,
at the very least, I said in our other review, very least should have been some NX era stuff. And you can 3D print some really basic models and just shove them in the background, right? Because it's not going to be seen very much. I really want to see in a first watch her pull out a signed picture of Archer, present Archer, like a Photoshop of Bacula, and she's like, "Oh, a signed picture of is that the present version? Yes, he was lousy at poker. Puts on the side like something very like, oh, that's a fun little one-off.
uh, but she pulls out the phones, and Mbenga's like grounded connection, which will insulate them from being jammed. I also love that she pulls out an Atari 2600 with the wireless remote. She's like, I've piloted many spaceships with this, all in 8-bit, and usually it makes a good Friday. It's like, that's great. That was fun.
Yeah, I didn't hear her say 8-bit, but I got the contact a second time. That's good.
Yeah. So they're going to hardwire the Enterprise for communication so they can use the thrusters in conjunction with it, or take us on the bridge.
Now, of course, the question is, why would Pelia buy, keep, look brand new, so maintain 230, 240, 220-year-old phones? Why has she kept phones for 2 centuries?
She's 5,000 years old. Who knows?
But they even look like off the shelf of Amazon. Like, they are perfectly pristine. These things are 2 centuries old in a box. At least they could do
She's
is
still an
like,
antique shop. Maybe this is just stuff that she hasn't been able to sell, and she's dragged with her since then. I don't know.
but I hadn't even thought that. Like, literally, the metal on the bronze is absolutely brand new, fresh. They'd bought that on Amazon. Wow, they couldn't even. Because I could have seen them having. This is more me like trying to play more the sci-fi. I could see them having one because she kept one. She said, "I used to call the Rolling Stones with this." They have no idea, and it's really cool for us, the audience.
She
Fine,
does mention the Grateful Dead later.
there you go. And if she took, and if oh, Scotty's on the trip, but if, like someone says, "Oh, we can use the Mouth synthesizer to recreate this," it's really really simple. And so they say we can't have to divert. They can't. We have to divert power. They pull power from something, put it in the machine. It makes 6 clones. Like, you know. But I don't see any reason she'd bring phones with her. Nor is there a reason. She just does.
Some people collect weird shit. Exactly, Ryan K. Exactly.
And she does, clearly. That's her thing. Perfect condition rotary phones.
Sussy Guru 2005 euros. Thank you so much. I remember. I wonder if Pelia has an entire warehouse of every mobile phone model ever made.
I mean, now we can see an iPhone. Yeah, you are 100% right. iPhone, Apple, yeah. The new iPhone's 26.
Yeah.
It's got 5 lenses.
Then we get the Kirk and Spock scene where he's like, I was playing a game with her. I had her cornered. I wonder what she would have. All I need to know is what she would have done next. Her next move. They have a nice little back and forth here. Like, sorry for interrupting you. Oh no, this isn't the first time. Why stop now? Um,
Oh no. Hope his internet didn't die, oh goodness. Let's read the. Oh, for goodness sake. The poll, though, 60 votes. What do you think of Paul Wesley as Kirk here? Oh,
Hi, I've been talking this whole time. I'll shut up now.
nope, you paused and went on hold, and now you're back. Welcome back,
I
Stuart.
didn't.
Welcome back. How are you?
Wonderful. But I'm not going to
Excellent.
say everything I just said again. So
Okay.
great scene.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's gentle. It's. I think my only issue is that Kirk is a bit too emotive here. He's too bluntly honest. But it also kind of works. It's a mixed bag. It's one of those things where it's written by teenagers for teenagers, not written by sci-fi who can summarize all of that dialogue in a "I thought I was right" gives look. Now it has to be said in more full dialogue and you know. But
Mhm.
it works fine. It's just not as mature writing, but it's like we live in a more emotionally talking world. But luckily they keep it mostly in character, and the support Spock shows what grounds it. Right? It's like, I mean,
Mhm.
you didn't get us killed, or you got us. He did get them stranded. Like, you
He
know,
says that I failed that test too, because Spock says you got to listen to your crew. That's part of being a good leader and deciding what to take in and what to ignore. He's like, I failed at that too because I made Scotty push the engines and now we're stuck.
yeah.
So,
But also learning is to learn to listen, as you say. And when he walks out, he's confident listening, and that feels right out of TOS.
oh yeah,
He walk onto the bridge and say, "What do you guys think?" And it's not how Pike does it. It's notably, tangibly different, and it actually does
yes.
feel like Kirk. I was pleased with this scene.
DUI champ throws in $10. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much.
Should have sent this last week, but it occurred to me on Monday. In discussing if TOS medicine would have allowed for the regeneration of eyes, didn't McCoy regenerate an old lady's kidneys in Star Trek 4? Yes, with a goddamn pill. Yeah. And Geordi was born without ocular nerves.
Yes, and he chose not to have
Yes.
things that will give him problems. He chose the lesser of evils. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
everyone thinks a kidney is a bit dumb. Like, it's meant to be a fun, silly thing, and it is. But also, that's a good 20 years after this. Like, it's quite a way. I mean, you got 7 years to TOS, or 5 years to TOS. You got 2 5-year missions, plus you got time between. So yeah, it's a good 17, 20 years. So I can imagine that medical tech could suddenly go from something to pills. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, but he asked them all for their advice,
Hmm.
and 20 minutes for the ship to get here. And all right, here's the plan.
And no one's going to
Rousing
like it.
speeches, rousing speeches aren't my thing.
That made me chuckle. It's
Yeah,
literally one of the defining traits.
I love how they're like, okay, what happens after we do all that? Well, this is the part where Scotty, you're not gonna like this. I thought they were gonna self-destruct the ship, but
And the source just goes up in the exact same way. The crinkle, then
yeah.
destruct one A, 2B. And Scott is. Can you imagine, right? If they destruct it like Star Trek 3, and it hard cut
Oh,
like a fan edit of Scotty again in
it,
3, and it in a monologue saying, "I'm doing it again. Bloody two ships in 20 years, the same captain.
it
Stop
would have
making me
been
blow up the ship."
it would have been great if they did do a self-destruct and Captain uh, whatever her name is, uh, self-destruct code is so complicated. He's like, surprised I remembered that. I need something simpler for mine.
Code
Uh,
Surak A, Surak A. Yeah.
Sussy Guru
Ah,
2005 euros.
thank you.
Another instance where Kirk's risk is why we're here is undermined by subsequent events. Exploding planet here, evil body stealing aliens later. Yeah, that's what risk is our business. That's from the episode
Yeah,
where
yeah.
they
That's not the point he's making. Undermined? Yeah, yeah. Feel like, yeah. Risk is part of their business to do things and be impressive, and yeah.
yeah. So they're gonna make the farragut light up because they're gonna fill in antiprotons into the
Uh huh.
cells, which simulates this aldentium that they're looking for,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
make them irresistible, and then they're
Barely
going
cooked
to
themselves.
then they're going to do something. We're not sure what yet. I really thought it was self-destruct.
Yeah, I had no notions of what it could be, but I like what they did, and no explanation needed. Well, I guess they could have said like the way they flood the cells, a byproduct of that is called makes them like electromagnetically unstable.
Yeah, they didn't. Yeah, even when we see what happens, it's like they look like an EMP pulse, kind of maybe. But I thought they would have exploded when I first saw them detach. I'm like,
Yeah, which would have been great. Like that could have looked really cool. A kablooey and all
yeah.
that.
But then we got a ballsy move, balls like stupid but ballsy from Pike and on the take an engineering door panel off and start beating the shit out of people with it.
Yep.
And there could have been some stunt performers here. We wouldn't have known. It's fine.
I still don't know.
But
It's
yeah,
absolutely fine.
it feels very Riot Squad though, with the visors and like using a
Oh yeah,
shield. It's
yeah,
just yeah.
yeah.
But they break the energy absorbers on the uniforms. Pike goes down. Uh, his face shield gets taken off, so he's. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I'm so there's like three moments here of meaning, right? They're face to face, slamming the door, right? And then he goes to do the thing, and the guy grabs with his hand.
Yes, I was just going to mention that.
Well, that's
It
before, right?
almost like he has like super strength.
What for me, that I thought, because at this point I guessed they were human. Like I thought, okay, what's the twist, right? Because I thought my brain was
It,
sensing the helmet is very NASA, so I'm like, I'm connecting the points.
I didn't guess this that they were human until Spock says the life signs, and I was like, oh, they were human. So if you guys did this early, that's awesome.
Well, like I say, it was a spacesuit. Like I registered the visor, I registered the lights. Like it just felt to me like a NASA spacesuit. I pulled the because it is partially right, but the way he grabs it felt to me like they're saying he thinks like Pike does and grabs it in a human way, but then so would Andorian, so would Tellarite. It's like many people have hands that are normal, or like, but I think that is trying to be
But to be able
something
to stop it cold, it seems like he has super strength.
that would hurt.
Which, if you're thinking humans at this point, you're like, oh shit, maybe it's not a human because of the way you grabbed it.
And in
But
fairness, had these been like eugenics war Khan people, that might have been a better twist, right? Oh, can you imagine if it was a botany bay in the middle of that ship instead? Like a DY 200. Would that have been better? Augments?
Maybe, yeah, but then you wouldn't have the impact at the end of they were just humans that I killed.
Well,
They'd
that's
be like,
still
they're
yeah.
still bad.
But then what if we? But what if they never knew they were human? No, they wouldn't know about. Still humans. I mean, just because they're augments, still humans. But yeah, but then the second time it hit me even more. Lan just murders this guy and disintegrates him, dead. Which for
Yeah.
me entirely devalidates the guy pulling the phaser and pointing at Kirk, because then in no way do I now believe I'm not going to kill him because he's human. They just murdered my mate. He's absolutely going to blow him away. He saw it. He
Oh,
was right there. His friend is now
pointed
gone.
at Pike. You said pointed at Kirk.
Sorry, but do you know what I mean? Like the
It's
fact that
okay.
they just murdered the
Yeah.
guy. He saw him. Like I have no reason to think he's going to hesitate because he's human. There's some other reason because he just watched his friend get killed. There's nothing
Because he
there.
can't, it's like we said earlier, he can't pull the trigger because Pike's not supposed to die here.
Exactly, which I'm fine with. But I don't. I don't think he saw as a human anymore. I can't believe that based on this kill of the friend. Because what? I mean,
Sesigur, Sesigur 2000, €2, or the suit has actuators. I'd be fine with that. Yeah.
sure.
That's what would enhance the strength. Yeah. Yeah. That's a good idea. One more like to get to 75, guys. Hit the like button.
And then his tech is
But
still working because it like he half absorbs, which is why 3 kill blasts don't actually kill him.
yeah.
Because that's quite a lot of kill blasts.
Yeah, it's enough to wound him for sure. So
And I guess he escapes off the ship.
no, they find him later.
Oh, it's sorry. Right. Yeah. So it is killing him. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But Lon pulls Pike into an airlock and helps him out. Pike's like, "Why didn't he shoot? He didn't kill me."
Mm-hmm. Because first time I thought because he can't die, and now he's finally he does use that with the, which I think is great. Second time with you after the review it was because he was human, but no, I think it's definitely because he can't die, and he's like, oh shit, I forgot I'm invulnerable. I forgot.
Then they move on to the umbilical, and it's like, well, if we can't disconnect it, maybe we can like make it distasteful. They're basically souring the milk like they did in Galaxy's Child. Uh, and it's like, yeah, they got to go to the waste storage down underneath the warp core.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and this is where it's good to be captain because he's like, yeah, you go do that. I have to do this.
Mm-hmm.
It was good.
Yeah, it was good. It's a good little.
This is a good Pike and Lon scene. I thought I enjoyed it.
No, it's good. It's small, but it's nice to see Pike do some good acting. Like he's doing good.
Mm-hmm. And then we get them wiring up the phones, which I don't think you necessarily had to mount it to the wall. You could have just set it there, but that's fine.
It's just the gag of it hanging
I
later,
know.
which
I
is a
know.
fine gag. Fine gag.
And Pelly on the bridge, like, yeah, I haven't done this since I was a roadie for the dead, meaning the Grateful Dead, obviously. But your species can communicate with dead people?
Yeah, she's seen Sixth Sense.
No. I talk to dead people on the phone.
And very, very funny, silly triple line split. It's silly, it's funny. Are they trying to say these are emergency steering columns or things in her bag that they're using?
No, they're built into the wall. They're on a thing that comes out of the wall.
Okay,
You
so
can see
emergency
that
steering
clearly.
columns.
Well, no, they're thruster controls.
That's that. Yeah, they look like Riker's steering column.
But they're not. They just activate the thruster on the one side.
Exactly, and never
It's
give
for
us
emergencies.
never
Like
give us
this.
doctor piloting. Why wouldn't there be like a screen, like a direct hardline screen, the thruster out? If there's a
The computer systems are all down, so even if there was, it wouldn't work. So it's fine.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. You'd hardwire it so it would just be like a periscope. I don't know if you're doing a manual
Jesus
yeah,
Christ.
but if it's a manual control and it's useless in its purpose because you can't you have
Well, you'd usually have sensors or something that you could be communicating with the bridge to find out what you need to do. They never really considered that it would be this dire.
okay
I don't think.
that's fair. Ultra dire is fair, but luckily all the lights still work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we got the anti-protons, anti-protoning, which I love that line.
It's a good line.
How many times has Uhura been at helm? Twice, including now. Oh, okay, good.
And it is just amazing to consider this scene is Kirk, Uhura, Scotty, Spock, Chapel. Wow. Right? That's amazing. And boy, this ship is big and giant. Right, but
Yep.
I've got to go, so I will back in a couple of minutes, and I'll leave you on a bit in the future, because things be thinging, as
Where are
you
we?
said. Uh, I'll take
Just
you
get me
to...
to the nacelles detaching.
Yes, that's every conversation.
Because this shows the bottom of the ship, and there are no open life support or escape pod hatches here either. Because I know Hypno Amber asked earlier if the escape pod hatches were on the bottom because we didn't see them on the top. No, absolutely not. But some really great visuals here of it like ducking above the scavenger ship and doing a twirl and twist. Really good visuals. And I love the fact that the nacelles separated because, yes, in the original TOS Bible that they had on set in the 60s, the Enterprise could saucer separate and also separate the nacelles. We covered that in our saucer separation video from a few years ago, which was one of my favorite episodes of Trekyards. It's a part one and part two. But yes, makes sense to be able to get the nacelles away from the ship in the case of an emergency. So, absolutely 100% awesome. And yeah, and the visual is quite interesting. Them dipping down. I expected them to explode, but they hit, clink, and kind of bounce off, and you get this like EMP effect, which does take out the scavenger ship quite effectively. So, all right, 67 votes on the poll. If you haven't voted, go do so. We have 81 people here. I'd like to get to at least 90 votes if we can. 100 would be ideal for a poll, but go vote on the poll if you haven't already. And the question is, what did you think of Paul Wesley as Kirk here? And there's four options. He felt like Kirk finally. He always felt like Kirk. Still didn't feel like Kirk, or he was totally okay. Go vote. Also hit the like button, guys. 79 of you here, 76 likes. Let's get those likes up to 80. Four more likes. If you're just joining us and haven't liked yet, please do so. DUI Champ says, is Trekyards going to Vegas next year for the 60th? Yes, that is the plan. We'll see if it actually solidifies. But yes, that is the plan. Classic for Real says phones equals first episode of new BSG moment. Yeah, it's absolutely like the Battlestar. 100%. Dan Rar BC, I think the scavenger ship EMP'd itself. The tethers hit itself. Oh, possibly. That's interesting. And it would be going for the cells because they're full of the antiprotons. Okay, I like that. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, actually. That helps me out immensely with that. But for them to assume that that would happen when they detached the nacelles was a bit much. Because the odds are that the tentacles might not have hit their ship. I don't know. Scottish Nightmare says problem with this is that in TOS they have comms in the walls. They do, and it might be a result of this, realizing if shit gets jammed, maybe we have to hardline these things together and they're all interconnected via the cables in the wall. Would explain why TOS looks so different than Strange New Worlds a bit. Who knows? I don't think they're that forward thinking, but I could see that being the case for sure. Um, so yeah. So yeah, what do you think of this suggestion? It's very BSG to have the phones because it's the old school system.
Yeah, fair. That might be a
Yeah,
fun call back, call forward. I mean, it's so minimally used, right? It's yeah.
and somebody made a good point. Maybe it wasn't the nacelles hitting, maybe it was the tentacles that EMP'd themselves, like it EMP'd their own ship, because the tentacles would grab onto the ship to like, and it was going after the nacelles because that's what's full of the antiprotons. But I said that's a really risky plan because you're not sure if they'd actually like hit their own ship with the tentacles. So yeah.
I mean, visually, I both times I thought impact, sparks, and the tentacles are following. But it's a great VFX shot. The way it climbs up, was great. Love it. Really nicely done.
Mm.
Farrah gets a good shout in this episode. Very long tentacles because those are bloody like, right. And it's a great. I was pleased. I had very few complaints apart from how does it work. No idea. Don't ask questions. But yeah, nacelles. And I love your thing about being refit afterwards. Great idea.
Hopefully it'll happen.
Yeah. And Spock's cute. Very like TOS walking up behind him, arms back. That's right out of that's didn't feel right for
Yep.
the moment because we're still at DEFCON, we could all die, but like moment was nice in that regard. Then they make
And
line of sight with Enterprise while it's inside the belly. Yeah, you totally did that.
yeah.
No, you didn't.
And they're all doing this. They're firing thrusters and stuff, not knowing what Pike and Lon are up to, what situation is, because they do say later, we're still tethered, we're
That's
still
a
on a
good point.
leash.
I hadn't thought that.
So they're just assuming that everybody's doing what they're supposed to do, which I mean, a trained crew would, but
Yeah, they don't know there's umbilical. They don't know their crew's alive. They don't know no one's dealing with it. They've no... Yeah, that's actually a big plot hole. Huh.
I think they know there's an umbilical. I think they might have one of them might have been there for the briefing from Pelia. And then Pike give the order to Lon, come with me. You guys go do this. So I think they were all there for that.
But you're right. Those timings don't make sense. 100%. Didn't even think
Well,
about that.
they do because they started firing the thrusters, and they're like, "Oh, we can't go anywhere. We're still tethered." So we gotta wait for them to do their thing.
We'll wait for unknown alive people to unknown the thing. Huh.
Yeah. So not really plot hole, just
Well, they can't have known. They were waiting to die until maybe they were saved.
yeah.
Crazy. But yeah, Pike uses his don't die power, and it's a very effective. It's minimally played, but you can totally read into it that, which I really like. He guesses the right thing. It works. Sours the milk, and of course, blue goes to red because you need visual LED to tell you that's what's happening. Has to happen.
Of course. Of
And
course.
then, oh no, better run for the hole in our hull becomes a giant. We get sucked in and die. And not as a die in space.
Because they can't hear you scream. Um. Yeah, and I do love the whole 50%, no 30%, no 80%. Back and forth was great.
Because Mbenga is not a pilot. And nor does he know what the hell he's doing.
No.
Yeah. But yeah, the power's coming
And the
back.
and the one thruster's not working, so the on runs to. Oh, I got an idea. Doesn't say what it is, but time's of the essence, so that's fine.
This is my other little problem with this episode is that they clearly ran out of money. Because in theory, it's a really cool sequence. Seeing them go and thing like all the tentacles coming, like the umbilical coming out, the tentacles are on it. The thing does this. The tentacles come out off. It flies. They say it scrapes a wall, which feels like a really big moment, like Galaxy Quest. But we see none of that. And then she does the thing, so it has no effect to me on at all. The middle bit, because it needed some cutaways at the outside. You know what I mean?
Just yeah, I do, and it's also like the umbilical detaches, and all of a sudden they have like the Bizarre collectors light up, and it's just like we have power now,
I
but
guess the warp
not.
core is always on as eating the power.
Maybe. I mean, yeah, it was maybe redirected to the umbilical. Once it's attached, it started going through the regular feeds
Because
again.
things
Sure.
can't just turn on in 1 second unless you're Strange New Worlds Discovery. But yeah, I do like the hanging phone gag. Never gonna get that again in Trek, and I'm absolutely fine with the usage. I like her doing something proactive, Miss Lady person number one. Although I felt sorry for the actress because the way she's genuinely legging it, that phaser prop on her leg, they are not meant to
Yeah,
be
well,
used away.
it's beating around. Yeah, I
Yeah,
noticed that too.
that is a rubber stunt one, and it is still hurting because that is not meant for that.
Yeah.
But she gets to it. Great idea, really simple, really effective. Good space shot of it leaving. No complaints. Except the fact that
Oh,
the corridor is too bright. Small thing, but it's like the ship's so damaged except every light's on. Just calm yourselves, right?
well, they have power back now.
Yeah.
But then they see the blood on the wall, and as soon as I saw the blood, I thought maybe human because it was very
Red.
human-like blood,
That
you
felt
know.
intentional, yeah. That felt. See
But
that? Spot that? Yeah.
yeah, but even then, I was second guessing myself.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah, my head was either it's old humans, Vulcans, but then red blood, like that's another twist, or like it was them from parallel universe that went rogue or like mind controlled. So it would be Pike's face, like something really horrible.
That would have made a lot of sense because that's why he didn't fire at him.
That's what I mean. Like
See,
I can't kill
yeah,
myself. There's something there you could do with. How's the poll doing? 68 votes, guys. So at least 2 more to get 70 in the poll. And keep super chatting, guys. Your thoughts, comments, questions, how you feel, and get ready for the end when you're going to give us your scores. Because I really would like to know.
and one more like to get to 80 would be awesome, guys.
Then Kirk
All right,
orders
so
phasers, which is a classic move when you know they're not going to work, and they say it's not going to work, and then turns to Spock. Suggestions. Yeah,
whatever you got.
Very nice.
Sessigura 2000 throws in €5.
Thanks
Thank you
so
so much. Do you think the XCV 100 crew, when they designed the skull mouth of their ship, had the thought, are we the baddies? No. It's probably like, so metal, man. Whoa, let's scare people.
I know the reference. Yeah, it's a yeah.
We have thoughts like it almost seems like a Gormagander or a space whale type skeleton. There's a whole conversation to be had around the design of the ship.
Yeah, I mean, every design's intentional, we assume. So and I would love if they found a Gormagander that was already taken by an alien, they massacred the alien, they took it over, they blah blah. But I kind of like the rationalization of we can't use phasers, not powerful enough. What then? Just torpedoes. Oh yeah, they're more powerful. Like
Figure.
Yeah, it's like not a very. But I love the shot here. This is a great space shot. Wish they were blue and not like fireflies because the way that go. Blah, blah, blah. It's like no. It's a tube. It's not a blah, 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 but it's a good shot though.
Yes, and the explosion's fantastic. Hits the D7. The D7's still active core goes up, and I just love the jaws like. It's a good visual explosion, I think.
So I love the D7 being hit and exploding, but I don't know if I buy there'd be a warp core still working because.
Well, they scanned it earlier. There was already an active thing there.
It was active. So I thought it was just a piece.
Yeah, because it's it. No, it was just it had power to it. Okay. And they say, "Is the ship still alive?" And it's like, no, it's basically got holes in the hull, so no, the cruise is going to be dead. So yeah, it was still active. That was what happened earlier.
Yeah, because I took it as it wasn't. It was just recognizable, but I don't really believe, especially the scale of this, that it would die in 1 second in that form. It's a very, very cartoony explosion. It's just too...
After I said I just really liked it, thank you.
No, it looks amazing. It looks straight out of anime. I just don't really believe a warp core explosion would do that in that format and in 1 second. It's just a really quick and easy death.
Yeah, well, it's almost at the 47-minute mark or whatever.
Yes. And also that level of explosion literally going through, because the thing about this ship's giant, it's blowing through all of the hull. Are you saying there's 7,000 people survived this? Because you said 7,000 life signs. This thing's going to vaporize several thousand people, right? Because this thing is going through.
Yeah.
So the crew might have been like 15,000, because this thing is. I mean, it's like Death Star explosion, and oh yes, 1 million survived. Like, did it? It didn't.
DUI champ, $2. America. Yes, America. Blow things up.
I was a little bit sad. The crew was saying, "Yay, we just killed those people." Like, don't be that happy. I felt uncomfortable, but that's the point.
I didn't.
I did.
It's like, yeah, you just came out of your life-threatening situation. You won. It's like, yeah, and then you realize the implications of it afterwards. It's totally the thing that would happen.
It's TNG, Captain Picard. They've been attacked by the Deredex. They managed to beam a phone to into the bridge. The bridge explodes. The whole thing is a fireball, and Picard's like, yes.
Data would.
Yes. Or Riker's like, we did it. It's like, no, they wouldn't. They'd say, Picard would say, okay, set a course away from here. They wouldn't relish.
Picard would have a moment of like gratification, and then it would.
Yeah, they would not celebrate in this way. It's but this is
Geordi would, when he like season 1, Geordi would.
Oh well, yeah, he's
Wesley would.
Yeah, but these are
not. There's a few people.
These are immature.
I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That's all.
but do you know what I mean? Like, this is not appropriate for... Certainly, the Kirk crew wouldn't. But the Pike crew are young. Go.
Chekhov would. Sulu would smile.
Yeah, Sulu would...
Scotty might be happy. I mean, come on.
It's just too much. But it has to be big for the oh no to settle. If they're all chill and then they die, the deaths, it has to be big. It has to have the contrast. But yeah, they walk up to the guy, bleeding. And this does mean they have a suit, right? They have evidence, they have remains. This might come back to play later. They have the technology. This is, I don't know if it's going to do some disintegration or whatever. Like that, you know, they've got something here they can factor in later.
Yeah. But yeah, the survivors, can we beam them aboard? Even if we wanted to, we couldn't. And then the reason for that is there's too much debris. No, you lock onto the life signs. That's how sensors work. I would have preferred if it was like even if we wanted to, we couldn't because we don't have enough power right now. We just ejected our fucking nacelles.
Well, yeah, neither ships have enough power. That's
our
instantly
our ship is in bad shape.
Or like we have enough livable volume of the ship left to beam them because the ship's mostly dead. Like there's better reasons than debris, especially if that's what they're saying. Then you think the debris be so much it'd be like piercing people and killing them. Like they're all killing, being killed every second. And as you said, only some in spacesuit, so 7,000 is going to be a few hundred in a minute, right? Whatever. But I will say I really bought Scotty's acting here. Of like I wish we could. I really bought that performance. It was a really good moment if he genuinely wishes he could. And these are the villains, right? So I liked at least they were acknowledging it. Yeah, that was really solid acting.
And then, sir, the life signs.
Yep.
And I love how this is
Spock's face.
Yeah, this is intercut with the Pike reveal as well. It's just so well. And Pike's acting when he realizes it's a human, like he's upset. So that's really good.
I mean, there aren't humans they deal with out of the Federation, really. There aren't. And normally they're like Lanthanite or something a bit weird. They're not quite human. So, and Lan killed this guy. And he almost brutalized him, right? There's no line here between them and them. In terms of, there's something really personal about this. Well, I will say, is that guy's face in the suit a CG effect? Because it looks super fake.
He looks very good for somebody that's been living on that ship. He looks like a pristine model. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm fine with that. He's got a beautifully manicured skin. Like, remember they say they're hyper advanced. Fine. But like he looks super fake in there. I don't know if that's actually a shot or like I wonder if they changed it in post. I wonder if it was a different face, like a more gruesome face, and they thought it wasn't working test screenings. Like because that almost looks like a deep fake of like a really nice clean. Especially as you said, right? This guy was bleeding to death and died. Where's the? Yeah, I think that was probably changed in post. It doesn't feel real.
But then they see a ship and they zoom in, and yes, it is the front of a XCV ring ship type ship.
But no visible ring.
Yeah, XCV 100. Well, the ring is a warp ring, so they left before that. So
can't have a ring, yeah.
And everybody's been asking, yes, the flag has only 50 stars, not 52, a la the Royale. Don't know if that's an error, but worth pointing out.
But I love the fact they use this. I was shocked in a nice way. They should have used it later in a scene because by God, but they would have to address the ring or not. But the weird thing is, this thing is 200 years old. It fought for its life. It now is in the middle. I don't think it's the bridge of that ship, right? It's just in there, right? Whatever. Why the hell is it that pristine looking? Like that is a minimal amount of dirt and dust for a ship that fought the odds for hundreds of years, became a gruesome butcher ship.
Not only fought the odds till he found this ship.
Or we don't know that, or made it. Like there's no.
We don't, but there's no answers. That's the problem.
Yeah, because this thing is like so minimally dirty. It should be rusty at least.
It was really rusty and dirty, and then the explosion just took all that stuff off. So now it's just the
sure. Yep. Burn away your sin. Yep.
Yeah.
But yes, a really good moment. It's a weird twist, but I give him credit. It's a ballsy twist.
And the Pyridon. Yeah, and the Periodon says, is that the United Earth Space Agency probe insignia? Hard to tell. It absolutely is, yes.
As it should be. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to a weirdly like cartoon drawing. I guess they hadn't got cameras. Like it's a cartoon illustration
Of what?
of the people who are going into space. Like that's not meant to be a photo. Like it's too
No, it's a
cartoony.
photo. I don't
But
think it's cartoony at all.
it's like textured with like texture and not real. Oh, that looks. I mean, I know it's
Well, it
like. Yeah.
looks like a freeze frame from like a broadcast because you got some like staticky shit on the screen and a line across the bottom.
See, to me, it looks super like artist rendering, like hyper fake. To me personally, I mean, it's hard to do a proper CG one, but like the sky looks fake, the hands look fake. Like it might also be ChatGPT sort of created like that level like AI fake because it's hard to do.
Yeah, and here they talk about they left the planet, the entire crew, the ship disappeared, their families gone, never to be seen or heard from again.
After Third World War, so we have a time, whatever, and it's a really odd director choice to pan the whole table. It's fun, but all I kept thinking was, why are we seeing they put on the display? Hirosho said, and they left on this bleep, and it's the ship and it's a rotation. And it's a ring ship or a variant of the ring ship, and that's what was inside it. It was, and it wasn't warp capable. And like, give us some information because I felt that would be part of the story. How they became them is not just them; it's the ship. But we don't.
Yeah.
We don't.
And Sasaguro 2000 puts in €5
Thanks
and
so
says
much.
it's a photo of a photo, or it could be a photo of a broadcast. Somebody took a picture of their screen because that's kind of the vibe it gives.
It's not very good, is what I'm saying. They didn't put a lot of money into it.
Yeah. And it's funny that they were environmentalists. They left Earth because it was destroying itself and they wanted to get out, create a new life, and then they go on to destroy other planets. Although, to be fair, the planet they destroyed had no life on it. It was a Class M world, but they said it had no life forms, so.
And we
But
don't
still.
know they were going to go kill the other planet. They assumed it.
Yes.
We don't know. You know? But yeah, I mean, it is such an interesting thing. They aren't eugenics, they aren't baddies. These are the environmentalists who gave up on the planet and said, you guys are doomed. We're going to go out and do our thing because you're probably doomed. And people celebrate it because, good luck. Which implies, lots of people and the best of the best. And it's a really interesting thing to do.
And Stuart Perry says, Sam, perhaps post World War III photography is not very good.
Fine with that. Fine with that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely worse than my phone. I don't know. I'm just a CG guy and I can tell it looks fake and painted. And it's fine. They just could have done a more interesting job with it. But that's why I wanted to do the ship, right? And then we get Pelia give a very emotive little speech, and she sells it super well. Because
putting out
she was there.
Yeah. Putting out the fires of the Third World War. A few nations left standing. They sifted through the ashes of their space program and scoured the world for a crew. You might say they were the best of us, the most optimistic, searching for a way to carry on.
Boy, it hits hard because, and then they became world killers.
DUI champ, $2. The flag should have had the Punisher skull. Okay.
Yeah. Oh dear.
I got a nice shot of Farragut with Enterprise in the distance, which is great. And the pep talk from Pike. It's like, may I lift up this fucking chair that's on its side, please, to sit down?
You're my ship, Captain. You must sit on the floor. And this is their first ever talk as equals. Right?
Yeah.
And it absolutely feels like a level has passed between them and it's really tangible. Because a commander, you meet a lot of commanders in Starfleet and they're great people, but you can be a commander for 5 years, for 10 years, right?
Yeah.
But he's in captaincy and he did the thing and he saved the crew. So there's a real higher level of respect here. This is how TOS would have played if it was pre-TOS. It 100% feels that way and I commend them for that direction.
Stuart Perry says, what if they were slaves to the real scavengers? Well, then there would have been other life signs mixed in there, wouldn't there have been?
Yep, and also there was not a single part of that in the story. So that's a too big a leap. Well, cool. Can't say that.
I do love this talk, though, about you have to have empathy for your enemy. And Kirk's like, yeah, but I didn't. I didn't see them as people.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, well, maybe that's the learning moment. Maybe, our enemies are oftentimes not much different than us. Like anybody you kill in a war has a mother, has a father, has sisters, has brothers, has somebody they love. Like it's just shows you how stupid war is, right? But you don't think about that when you're like our side versus their side.
And
It's a
they've
great speech.
got to desensitize themselves to that because they're captains. They can't be thinking that really, but it's such a humanizing moment of like you absolutely feel that our James T from TOS took this lesson on board fully, and like yes, his first big mission it went poorly and yet successfully, mixed bag, and he learned don't assume. And honestly,
Mhm.
this might be the reason his Gorn mission went so well
Yeah.
because it's right like, and it doesn't feel
Yeah.
forced. It's good. I like it. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and then he says good night, Captain Kirk.
Oh man, every time Captain Kirk said they do it just the right spots, just the right times to feel apt, and he's left in a broken ship that will absolutely not fly again in its current form because it ain't doing so well.
We're gonna tow you back to Starbase.
And
Can't wait till see the look on April's face when I show up in the nacelles.
and given that
It's
the
great.
edge of Federation space that will take them several months to get home or several weeks, you know. Oh wait, they don't care. So several months to get home, and therefore they'll be getting to know each other very well. So I expect the rest of the season, Stuart, to be them traveling back to Earth with an tractor beam.
Good luck.
Yep. And so ends episode this one. Hmm.
Yeah, a good episode. I really enjoyed it. It's very TOS, very Star Trek.
Why don't you read out the poll and I'll do one more as we close out. So I can just do that.
Yeah, 79 votes. We almost hit 80, which is good.
Brilliant.
What did you think of Paul Wesley's Kirk here? The winner is he felt like Kirk finally, 39%. Next place is he was totally okay at 27%.
Okay.
He always felt like Kirk at 18%,
Okay.
and still don't feel
Huh.
like Kirk at 16%.
Interesting. Okay.
He'll put up another poll, but while he's doing so, I'll tell you guys the instructions. Super chat in your scores out of 10 for this episode. Let us know your thoughts. I will read all the super chat scores after we give our little closing statements here and our scores. And if you just want to put your score in the regular chat, Sam will read those afterwards. And we just want to hear your thoughts on this episode. Anything you have to say, please super chat in or super chat in a score. We'd appreciate that to close out here. But yeah, after our review, I mean, we've looked at it for over 2 hours now, 2.5 hours. Let us know what you guys think. We're really interested. So, um, Scottish Nightmare said, didn't get the Admiral April line. Why would he care about the Farragut? Because he's the admiral of this sector. All these ships are under his control and management.
Well, and also, like, most ships don't get destroyed. Like, battles are super infrequent in Star Trek in space battle form, so, like, properly gone. You can't just, like, this is a full, this thing is trashed sort of thing, which means you've got to reassign the crew, you've got to spend, 9 months, like, it's a little bit
Yeah.
more broken than he's normally used to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, real new poll, if you would.
But I don't want to. You still can't read? Oh, for fuck's sake, Sam. Having seen 6 out of 10 of the season so far, which season will be the best? Season 1, welcome to Strange New Worlds. Season 2, getting more silly. Season 5,
Oh,
silly and drama. She did it again. You, it's fine. Season 3, Jesus Christ, you're fired.
can't be fired, I quit.
You know how many files he sent me that says season 5, episode season 3, Sam?
Like 3. Too many.
There's more than there should have been because I corrected you like twice.
Yeah.
That's okay. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So yeah, super check your score. We'd love to get a 5 5 to be absolutely fantastic, of course. and see the final scores. But Stuart, then what do you think at the end of our great journey? And how does it feel after doing the full review? Because they do tend to feel different after full reviews. So how do you feel now?
Uh, Probably better, honestly. Like I
Mm.
really enjoyed this episode. Enjoyed it on all the rewatches. The first time the mystery was really there, expecting alien, or maybe not getting an answer, just have it be a mystery at the end. But then we got this other V'ger like deal going on. We've seen this with other early space flights that have been sucked into the Delta Quadrant or whatever, right? There's always, and it's cool to kind of go back and revisit that, like the strangeness and the oddities in space. But there's not enough answers for me at the end, and I think that's probably part of the point. Like now this is given so much fodder to writers that want to like extrapolate on this or whatever for beta canon. You could absolutely do that. I still would have preferred some answers because it doesn't make a lot of sense in a lot of ways. But that being said, the overall episode as a whole was very enjoyable and very felt very TOS again, and not just because Kirk was there, but I appreciated Paul Wesley's little Kirkisms that he threw in there, some hand gestures, a lot of his acting choices. I think really kind of were Shatner inspired, and I appreciate that immensely. Seeing the TOS crew basically come together before they come together, also interesting the way they did it. Not aboard the Enterprise, so it's not like an Enterprise adventure. Was pretty great. The Pike stuff Pike, I don't know, him scrambling in the bar and just he's he's got a very unique command style and he's not super commanding a lot of times, which definitely shows in a lot of these episodes. I don't know. I wish he'd be a bit better in some ways. Small thing, but other than that, I think the Pelia stuff was kind of fun. The phone system setup, we saw it in the trailer. I thought it would be part of the holodeck mystery, 1960s mystery episode. Absolutely wasn't. So that was a nice little twist. And the visuals are great. That ship, the scavenger ship, looks amazing. We have a video coming out about it where we talk about it. I like the skull on the front and the intimidation factor of that. There's a whole bunch that is really interesting in this episode. And seeing, yeah, Kirk's first command where he's not exactly like he thinks he has the answers until he's put in a position and then he doesn't have the answers or the excitement that he was expecting necessarily. All it takes is Spock to be part of his trifecta that pulls him together to stabilize him to get his command style. I think is really great. Um,
And not to jump in too annoyingly, but I've got to go in like 7 minutes because we've got to go somewhere before it closes.
yeah,
So
I'll gladly score this.
yes.
So yeah, I think it was great.
Okay.
Score wise, for personal enjoyment, I'll give it a 9.3 out of 10.
Oof. Okay.
For all the Strange New Worlds, it's up there as well. I'll probably give it a 9.1.
No surprise, your second highest of the season
Mm,
by this much. That's interesting.
mm.
Yeah, my thoughts, and again, super chat your thoughts in. Really good. It's one of the simpler episodes and yet almost successful. It's the most TOS feeling. It's got a lot of good track. It's less silly. It's more character based. They got Kirk mostly right. The Kirk Spock, which is a universal achievement of the relationship, works well here. The proto Spock and everyone else works mostly well. It works. The more questions is annoying, but in a way that like makes you want to know more, which is in itself a success. So that works too. And the pacing, while slow, is a good reveal and makes you think and hit over the head with "oh no." But also second watch, it makes you be intrigued in a whole different way. So it's good first watch, both watch, and plot holes of space and time are common. That's just a thing with this show. You can't judge these new shows compared to the old shows. You just can't. They're just not that sort of thing. Score wise, yeah, it's going to be high up there. Enjoyment, I think I'm going to give it a 9.2. A little bit lower than you, but like by a hair. And all Strange New Worlds is so different to Strange New Worlds though, because it's really just a TOS episode, sort of. I'm going to say flat 9. Would have been better with a couple of small things, but I mean, yeah, this is right up there with the show for sure.
Cool. All right, let's get the super chats. Classic for real, $2, 1.701 tenths out of 10. And I actually mean it, 2 out of 10. What? Susigura 2000, €5, 7 out of 10. Ray Ricks, £5, 7.5 out of 10.
Wow.
John Fisher, $2. This episode has a very Star Trek 5 Elite Force vibe. Or Star Trek Voyager Elite Force, yeah. With the Scavengers pulling all the ships together.
Oh, yeah. Non-super scores. Let's see where everyone else is, because we're very similar to last week. Looks like different this week though. Solid 7. 7 out of 10. 6.8. Merlot, goodness. 8 out of 10. 7 to 8. Colin, 10 out of 10. Scottish Nightmare, 6.5. Ollie Mac, 9. Ryan K, 6. Marco, 8. Aussie, 9.2. Mum, 9.3. Episode 8 out of 10 for Hypno. 6 for Antique Foes for Ryan. Stuart, 9. Basilo, 9. Joseph, 9. Stuart, 9. Phoenix, 8. Wow, so actually we're on the ultra high end, which is not normally our forte. Interesting. Oh.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Check out our content over the weekend and next week as well. Come back for lives, and we'll see you next time. So until then, he's Commander Cockings.
He's Captain Foley, and I'll be on the Strange New Worlds Bridge tomorrow. Not me personally, but I'll be filming on it.
Awesome.
In my front room.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.